Also, I don't want to join the same way the public join. Surely I should have built a different thing.
How do you mean?
Surely this.
I know you don't mean what I think you mean.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
How could I click the same link that the public got and join to be there? Surely I must. I need to be. I must be. I don't want to join. I be like in the makeup and the thing. I should have a different link. Shouldn't I press something that makes me admin straight away or something? I don't want to be in Gen Pop. I can't.
When it is that you're out and about and when it is that you're chilling in your living room, it's easier to pick your phone up than actually have your laptop.
No, but the interface for the on the computer. If I'm actually
I
going to
know
use
it's lovely, but
if I'm
it means that
actually
you
gonna
only
use
use it whilst you're here.
Huh?
It means you're only going to use it whilst you're here.
No, I use it when I'm at home. I use my laptop.
Alright, cool.
I don't want it on my phone. That's too much access.
Alright, you're not
Don't use it. You can't access me then. That's crazy.
What do you mean that's too much access? It's going to be your phone. You're already on the app. The access has been granted.
Yeah, the app's on my phone.
Yeah, but you have an account on there. So the access is already, you've been accessed.
Yeah, but I have to go on it to use it. It's not like a everyday thing.
It's not like a summon you kind of thing.
You know what I'm saying?
You can turn your status to invisible. So you can be in, but not...
That's how my PlayStation set.
Does mine say available?
Everybody thinks I haven't been online for 2 years and I've been online every day.
The little things, eh?
It's the little things.
That helps.
All right. Well, I'm glad we've sorted that out.
Still looking for this private.
We're live, you know?
Brent, I know we're live.
Oh, okay.
He's just doing what he's doing.
No. This is you now.
So this is me now.
This is you.
Good morning, people. It's Thursday, finally. Oh my gosh, this week is killing me, I tell you that. It's Thursday, the 8th of February. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favourite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And you guys know, you're always hosted by the best. Interesting characters, I tell you. But let's introduce ourselves, please.
It's your boy, 6 foot plus of pure temptation. Big Mars from the east side of the bridge. Good morning, people.
As always, your favourite shade queen, my own royalty.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer, a news analyst, and of course, the melanin is jam-packed.
Amen to that. How was everyone this morning? Brent, are you in here with us today?
Yeah, I am. Morning. Apologies for the tardiness. I was looking to set up our TDA hotline on Discord. However, it working fantastically well last night. Decided to start doing some hiccups this morning. What I was going to do is allow for the ability to call in to be moved to the TDA Discord hotline so that more people would be able to join on stage and join our conversation. And obviously we could, remove people if we wanted to. So it would have been like a call waiting feature. But God willing, it will be up and running tomorrow.
Yes.
Might even look to lock off the YouTube live chat and say that we can move it to Discord.
Okay.
Just to get people accustomed to that particular
That
UI
function.
over there. Yeah.
Download it, man. The link is pinned.
It's not.
It's not? That's so awkward.
But I'll put it back up
Yes,
just now.
It will be up.
So good morning, Teddy Tibbs. Good morning, Mercy. Good morning, T. Good morning, Mirad. Good morning, Timmy, BOE. Good morning, Adejoké. Yes, Adejoké, you can call in.
Who's Timmy BOE?
Timmy BOE. That's Christy's boyfriend.
As you were?
Adejoké, yes, you can call in during reaction to talk about Nigeria's successes. Just scrape through.
What did
Good
Adejoké
morning,
get
Gin and
fired or
Gist.
something? Did you get fired?
Who?
Adejoké, why is he asking to have to call in? I thought he
Because-
was a correspondent.
His calls were locked off the other day, innit?
No, that's not mine. He's just asking politely. He's a polite man. He's a gentleman.
Better than me, Gigi. I would just called in. It's a right.
Good morning, Gin and Gist. Good morning, Amy Snow Globe. Good morning, KM. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Alexander. Good morning, Fabio from Brazil.
From Brazil.
Hola, hola, hola. Good morning, Jay Good.
Said all
Good
that.
morning, Oyen. Good morning, Reggie. Can you imagine?
Reggie.
Yeah.
We got Reggie.
Good morning, Sarah.
Sorry.
Or Sarah. Good morning, Fernand. Good morning, Josh Show. Good morning, Everest. And good morning, Brian. Boom, done.
Reggie, is it you I follow on Instagram? Because someone by the name of Reggie followed me and I just assumed it was Reggie.
I might be in Discord more than I thought. You know, there's some things in there.
Okay. So can you let me, please put the camera back on me. Come on, mate.
No, there's some Jones.
Okay, that's great.
There's a couple.
Excuse me. Bring back to me. This is important for conversations. So Reggie, can you message me if it is you, as in DM me on the profile I think is you, so I know if it's not you, so I can unfollow that brother because I don't know who that is. I don't know that man. Sorry to that man. All right, you were speaking about the women, the fine women.
There's a couple ones and twos in there.
The hell was a 1 and 2?
Ones and twos, isn't it?
Just before the 3s and 4s, man.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Who are the 3s and 4s? What are 1s and 2s?
I don't know. There's just like a thing. It's just a saying. Don't you sort of say that?
Yeah.
Are you lying?
I don't want to hear nothing about you man anymore. I might have to change my seat. Damn, I can't stay in front of this man anymore. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. Okay, well, okay, 1s and 2s, 3s and 4s. That's great.
I feel like people used to say I was just kind of go and do things. I got to go do a few ones and twos. Just kind of stuff.
I thought it was 2 things. I didn't think 1 ever came into the conversation.
Don't know where that came from, but it's a thing because I didn't make it up just now.
Well, Killies and Killettes, Mark is on Discord now.
Don't message me.
I thought you said there's 1s and 2s. Can you in private message on Discord?
Yes.
But I said that's one of the rules anyway. That's one of the, okay. I said we're about to find out. That's one of the rules anyway. Because Brent put some rules up.
Accept my friend request. You know what I'm saying?
You're such a hoe.
I'm just saying, man. This is jokes. It's comedy style.
Not comedy style, all right?
Reggie said he doesn't have IG.
Wait, is it what?
He doesn't have IG.
So it's an imposter. You've been bamboozled.
No, I haven't been bamboozled. I don't reply messages anyway. Where is it? Remove follower. No, actually, I'll unfollow. He can follow me.
It's a remove following. That's a bit much.
No, I remove a follower any day, boy.
They didn't do that.
No, not him, but on the sometimes some people have to be removed. I don't want you following me. Don't follow me. I don't want any associations with you whatsoever. Yeah, man. I'm a soft blocking queen. That's my bag. How are you guys doing anyway? Before we get into our very busy show. Can't complain.
There you go.
Can't complain. Brent, Marks, how are you guys doing?
I'm all right. No complaints from me.
This is not a forum to complain anyway, but thank you. He said no complaints from me.
How do I change my picture?
Brent?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much.
This is what your experience on the show is going to be today. You figuring out Discord and just... All right, let's quickly get to hear that.
Getting it all in real time.
There's a comment from Spotify.
Oh, yes, there is. Yes, from good old Mark. I knew Mark would come through, man. Big up, Mark. He said, this comment will piss me off if I was Brent. But anyway, one sec. It says, to be honest, Mark's landed it still. Mark said the same thing Brent said. This was yesterday about the whole kerfuffle about...
Was Mark the one who sent the comment?
Yeah, so now he's saying Mark's landed it.
Look at this. Look at me.
Wait, let me finish the message. Wait.
Oh, fuck.
To be honest, Mark's landed it still. Esther, you added an angle to it that I didn't consider previously. Much love and more life from Ontario. What's CA, Canada? And shout out to No Behaviour Pod. That's why I said let me land it.
Okay.
He's a killie.
Say
So
that,
whatever
Killy.
he said was always gonna...
See you in July, man.
Whatever he said was always going to land.
Toronto, baby.
Big up, Mark. All of that said, let's get into our headlines, please.
It's like no one's talking in
So that there's no YouTube live chat. So the chat
will be in there.
In the Discord. Just so people are accustomed to it.
Oh, but we have like a TDA live.
Can we run them simultaneously?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. So our first headline. Hamas has laid out a series of demands, including exchanging hostages for Palestinian prisoners and rebuilding Gaza in response to an Israel-backed ceasefire proposal. The armed group wants a full withdrawal of Israeli forces and an end to the war after 3 45-day truce periods. The offer is likely to be unacceptable to Israel's Prime Minister, who has called for total victory in Gaza. Hamas's response is a counter-offer to a ceasefire proposal backed by Israel and the US and mediated by Qatar and Egypt, details of which have not been made public. The proposal received a tepid response from the US President Joe Biden, who called it a little over the top. The Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that there was still a lot of work to be done to reach a permanent ceasefire, but stressed the importance of reaching a lasting peace. And the next headline, the Prime Minister directed the clumsy... let me go back one step. Basically, this is about Rishi Sunak, yeah. And he's basically getting...
cooked.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Apparently, there was a trans joke that was made in front of Brianna Ghey's mother. Remember Brianna Ghey?
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
As in the kid that got killed by the...
Yeah. This is a content. I'll get into more details.
Oh, that's horrible then.
We'll get into more details. Let's give him a chance. Right?
No. I already listened to the clip. I already listened to the
Oh,
clip.
you said, what do you think?
He needs to resign. Do you know what? He doesn't look how I think. In my mind, yeah, like his name sounds like strong man. But every time I see him, I'm just left very disappointed. He just gives me like Lord Farquaad kind of vibe from Shrek. He just doesn't. He just doesn't give me leader energy. Like he's just like a. Dare I say?
I get you.
Why not got permission to send to chat?
Friend.
What?
What have you got? What?
You do not have permission to send messages in this channel. Why? What did I do?
You were blocked on previous activity.
Brent, fix this, please.
While Brent's doing that or not doing it, let me tell the people.
Damn, my brother, no, you doing nothing.
I'm trying to get the Discord popping. Can't type.
Well, like I said, guys, trigger warning, in fact. Is it worth a trigger warning? Just to be safe.
I don't even know anymore. We need to do a trigger warning course. Someone's cussing us the other day.
Well, the Prime Minister apparently directed a clumsy jibe at Sir Keir Starmer when the Labour leader attacked the government on NHS waiting lists. So this is where it started. Mr. Sunak said that the Labour leader had changed his position on defining a woman following Sir Keir Starmer's tribute to Brianna Ghey and her mother. The comment was met with cries of shameful from the opposition benches. Sir Keir had earlier said that Brianna Ghey's mother, Esther, was watching from the House of Commons public gallery and commended her bravery. Mr. Sunak was asked to apologise for his insensitive comment, and Mr. Sunak did not directly respond but paid tribute to the family. Downing Street defended Mr. Sunak's comments as legitimate criticism of Labour. And the last headline, you guys remember our representative, Kwasi Kwarteng?
Oh, yeah.
I was expecting you to say something else. I said our representative.
I can't bother sometimes. I just gotta let things.
Anyway, Mr.
Mr.
Kwasi Kwarteng, who's a former chancellor who oversaw the ill-fated mini budget, which basically plunged all of us into a situation.
You got set up.
There you go.
The hell, I stand with Kwasi. How about that?
That's nice, man. That's nice.
Actually, no, I don't.
No, but to be fair, she did throw him under the bus. Let's trust.
She really did.
She 100% blamed everything on him.
Well, he's an egg.
But he still made a decision. He was the chancellor. You know what I'm saying? He brought it to her and whatever. But anyway, so that gentleman there, he said he will not stand again as an MP at the next election. So Kwasi Kwarteng, who represents Spelthorne in Surrey, said that he had told his constituency association on Monday that he would not fight the election. He tweeted, "It has been an honour to serve the residents of Spelthorne since 2010, and I shall continue to do so for the remainder of my time in Parliament." There was an unforgiving reaction from many to the news that Kwasi Kwarteng is to step down from Parliament. As Chancellor, Kwasi Kwarteng was accused of delivering a reckless mini-budget for the rich after his £45 billion tax-cutting package sent the pound crashing to its lowest level against the dollar in 37 years.
What was it? On Honor to Serve?
Spellthorne.
Oh, I thought it was talking about where Tiny Temper went.
Oh.
Where is that again?
Where's that again?
I've said it.
Is it Scunthorpe?
Yeah, that's it. I was like, oh, look at that.
But yeah, that's it for the headlines, guys.
All right.
Question. So RKS Rude says shutting off YouTube live chat might not be the one, as I'm assuming most use one device to listen and interact throughout the show. But why would shutting down the live on YouTube?
No, not the live, babes. The live chat. I think he thought we meant shutting down the live.
No, he's basically saying what I was thinking. Basically, what he's saying is
It's a one-stop shop, innit?
yeah. So basically,
So
if
if you
I'm
take the
listening,
chat,
yeah.
if you take the chat off, then they can't because they're on their phone. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, so they're on their phone.
No, I don't understand.
No, basically, they're on their phone, yeah.
They're on
Unless,
their phone on YouTube. Where's the Discord device?
Stop. Let me be clear with what I'm saying when I say I don't understand. You can switch apps, no?
yeah, but when you come off YouTube, it
wants to
stops
do that?
playing.
Not for me.
Yeah, because you got YouTube Premium. You're rich.
Oh.
Yeah, no, switching apps is.
Oh, you broke shaming us.
That's not.
8:48 in the morning.
That's not convenient. That wasn't a good idea. Switching apps.
Okay, sir.
I
Thank you very much.
didn't even
When
think
it's different
iPhone
over
can
there.
do that, you know.
Yeah, if you got YouTube Premium, you're paying £50 for it.
Makes sense though. Ads are rubbish.
Oh, that's stupid. Well, actually, no, they're not. We got some ads.
What do I click on to think? Because this ain't making sense. Am I in the wrong bit? Oh wait, there. Question time. No,
Can I ask you guys?
what's on your
quickly,
mind? Is it that?
Yeah, question.
As an iPhone
You
user,
can go anywhere you want.
I'll tell you in a
I
minute.
can't because this.
You can't type at all?
No, I can't in this bit here.
This is killing me. This is just finishing me. I can't believe what's happening here. Email, sorry.
As an iPhone user,
Yes.
can you guys use split screens? So, for
What is split
example, your one screen, right? Half of it is used for YouTube, for example, watching us, and the bottom half you're in Discord.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. No, I don't want to do that. No, but you can do it for Spotify though.
You can do split screens.
Well, yes, if I come off Spotify, it has a little thing on the side.
I think I
Okay.
need
Even
to
YouTube,
show
actually.
you all how to get YouTube Premium for like no, £1 or 85p a month.
Nah, he's joking, guys. It's not legal. It's a joke. Let's get into what you sent topic of the day, please.
It's definitely legal.
Press the button.
Well, have you got that plug for real? Oh, but that means I have to download stuff.
No, not really.
Right, tell me how to go after.
Put it in Discord. Put it in Discord. Join the Discord if you want to know how to get YouTube Premium for 20p.
All right, people. So
day.
today's topic of the day. It's not going to be a long one, right? But
I think you actually jinx these things. I think you jinx it.
this one I'll be strict.
So thank you very much for the person who sent it in. Thank you very much for the person who sent it in.
Yeah,
Since what? Oh, the topic of the day, yeah. Big up you.
I'm about to get to that. But yes, this person sent basically three different topic of the days. So I'm going to use one of them today. I'm not too sure if they want me to mention their name yet or at all, so I won't mention it today. But if you don't mind, let me know. But yeah, the question basically is, why do we always want to have a conversation? So remember this week, was it even last week as well? We were talking about basically everyone comes together, talking about certain things, And even yesterday we were talking about, obviously when Mark mentioned it in response to one of the topic of the days as well, about how do certain productive conversations even occur right in the black community. And so this person has basically written a little bit of a breakdown of this topic. So I want us to kind of hit these different points, right? So they've said, we have heard during the recent years that let's have the conversation. But why do we want to have a conversation when we know that once it comes time to perform an action or pass a policy or law, we know that we will not agree with whatever another person says in the conversation, because whatever action we want or whatever law needs to be passed will benefit us, right? Why do we keep talking about having a conversation when we know our opinions about certain topics cannot be changed or our views about certain people cannot be changed? Shouldn't we all just be in an echo chamber and agree with whoever agrees with us? And when it's time to go against the other people of different views from us, then we just go to war, conflict. P.S. The person says, I do not agree. We should combat people, but I find it that people will be very quick to not have a conversation when they see they're on the winning side. So what do you guys think about that?
I think conversations are important. I don't think that because there's an assumption that something's not going to be done, we shouldn't have a conversation. It's like what I was saying yesterday, how I'm very wary of saying things aren't being done just because it's not in my face and I haven't done research to find out what's actually being done. There's a lot of people that are doing amazing work. So let's talk about conversations that's about our community, right? There's a lot of people that are doing different ways, in many ways, are doing amazing things for the community and spreading good messages and just highlighting stuff. There's so much. But again, because they're not popular, because they don't have a big following and they're not right in your face, or you don't think it's relevant at the moment, or there hasn't been a tragedy that's made you see that this person's actually been campaigning for this long, blah, blah, it's easy to assume that people aren't doing things. I don't think conversations are pointless. I think for the most part, conversations happen, and then from those conversations is where you're able to discover what's already happening on what people are already doing, or actually just deciding, you know what, I want to take action. I don't think most conversations happen and nothing ever happens to me. I don't think most conversations fall to the wayside. What? That was Ramsey.
Ramsey the aggressor.
Just got a hat on, yeah. I just kick up. But yeah, do you get what I mean? So I just don't think it's right for us to. I don't think it's right to assume that, you know, conversations are pointless. I don't think conversations are pointless. Some conversations are pointless. But that's like the guy from the video yesterday was saying, you know, why do we talk about certain things, blah, blah, blah. But no, I think conversations that they need to be had.
Okay. Do you feel like, I guess, because at the end of the day, you mentioned, I'm not saying this is all you're saying, but one of the things you mentioned is that at least you are, in those conversations, one is able to raise awareness about certain things, right? I'm able to find out what it is you do in your community that I otherwise would never have known unless I actually dialogue with you, right? But do you feel like that if that was the only positive, that's enough? Because when you look at a lot of conversations, especially, I guess this is a lot of people's gripes within the black community anyway. Obviously, this is the case across all communities, but we're only talking about the black community here in this situation. But when you look at all the negatives, when you look at all the back and forth, when you look at the fact that even sometimes it even goes into ad hominems and everyone's just insulting each other, and the actual aim and objective that you guys set prior to the conversation is not met, is me just finding out what you do enough to justify having such a conversation?
Depends who you're speaking to. Because if you're speaking to somebody who will have a conversation and would take that conversation on board and be productive with the conversation they've had, then that's fair. But if you're talking to somebody that wouldn't, then there's no point. That's why I feel like Finance said conversation and constructive conversation are two different things, I guess. Absolutely. So the conversation I'm talking about, constructive conversations. I have a rule where I don't have conversations with people if I think it's pointless. Like I literally don't. Someone could come to me and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're a thieving whore." I literally will not care for a second to even acknowledge that, to discuss it, to try and prove you wrong, because there's no to what end. Like a lot of my thinking process, my thought process in life, in conversation, when it comes to conversations, discussions, and whatnot, is to what end. So I think it will always depend on who you're having a conversation with. Like I could find out something that I didn't know about before, and be like, oh, actually, and then take that knowledge and decide to do more with that knowledge that's been given to me.
100%.
But if you're having conversations with somebody, if you're just having dumb conversations, like not dumb, you can have a constructive conversation with someone who's not a serious candidate, and yes, it's constructive for you having the conversation, but for the person that's receiving it, it's just a conversation. Do you get what I mean? So I think it will always depend on who you're having a conversation with. And I think because we can't speak to people's intent, because sometimes you might be having a conversation with someone who you don't deem as a serious person, but what it is that you're telling them is actually something that they're moved by. And so they're moved to then do something about it. So you just never know, really.
I hear you. I guess to kind of throw one back at you and also what Finance said. How do you know you're going to have a constructive conversation until you have the conversation? So a lot of the time we get people together and say, oh, let's have this conversation. This is the agenda, this, that, and the third. But you don't know till halfway into it sometimes that this is just going down the same path as the other 2 million conversations that we've had. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there anything that one can do to kind of feel out where you feel the conversation can go prior to having the conversation, so we don't waste time, and so we're able to proper, I guess, ascertain whether something's constructive, productive, or something's just a waste of our time?
So if it's someone that you know, there's some people that I wouldn't bother having a conversation with because I know what their personality is like.
Okay.
And I know what their personality is like, and I know what their thought process is, and so it just feels very pointless. I also think that even if it's someone that you don't know, when a conversation starts, you can kind of peep that this is just falling on deaf ears. And at that point is where you choose whether you want to carry on wasting your breath or whether you want to tap out. You just always know by someone's reaction and how it is that like I can always tell when someone's not listening to me, or when they're not understanding what I'm saying, or when they're not receiving what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I feel like that's how you know whether it's pointless.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you about something, right?
Yeah.
Marks and Brent, right? Do you guys feel like it's necessary to have conversations with people that you don't agree with? So from the jump, for example, maybe you've seen kind of what Esther was saying, not necessarily personality, yeah. Maybe let's sprinkle a bit of adverse personality in there. But you see someone online, they're having certain conversations, just a little bit of adverse personality, like I was saying, and you know that you fundamentally don't agree with them, but you know perhaps that if you use your platform, if you have a conversation with this person, you perhaps could maybe meet some middle ground and something productive can come from this. But it will take some energy from you. It will take you getting to a place of having to just ignore certain things and just, you know what I'm saying? Like some effort. Do you guys feel like it's worth it? Or do you feel like, you know what, especially in this day and time, let me just protect my mental health and just build with people that think like me?
Yeah, I don't talk to idiots, so.
But they're not idiots.
Yeah.
They're just people that disagree with you.
No, some people are. Well, it depends. If they have to have the same opinions or thoughts of me, and obviously it depends how you present those thoughts and opinions, innit? So because someone might not like some of the stuff that people say. There's no point having a conversation. You're not gonna sway me. You're not gonna change my mind. You're not gonna teach me nothing. You know what I'm trying to say? Like sometimes our opinions might be different based in ignorance or lack of knowledge. You get what I'm trying to say? So if there's a conversation worth to have where you can learn something, get a different perspective on something and all that kind of stuff, then maybe, there's always room for conversation there. But some people are idiots. Some people are saying stuff they don't agree with, and they're saying stuff and it's not based in sense. Some of it ain't even based in fact. It's just all opinion based and people are who they are in it. So there's certain people that's got certain opinions and certain outlooks on life. That there's no reason for me and you to come and have this discourse now because I'm not going to get nothing out of it.
Yep.
You know what I'm trying to say?
So you feel like you can always, maybe not always, but most of the time, 9 times out of 10, predict prior to having a conversation with this particular person whether you're going to gain something or not.
Yeah, because I feel like some opinions are weighted, and I feel like I'm a good judge of character. I could tell if an opinion is educated or not, even if it's in the field that I'm not. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because you could tell if it's educated in it, so then it's like, all right, cool, this is different. Maybe I will lend it air just to see where it's coming from. But some people are just spewing their nonsense and that because they're just stuck in their ways and they have their beliefs and whatever. And that's what I'm trying to say. In those kind of things, in those kind of situations, I don't think there's no point because I'm not trying to change anybody's. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. You get what I'm trying to say? Especially when you just want to stand in your ignorance and just do what you're doing. We're allowed to believe different things. You know what I'm trying to say? And sometimes that conversation is not necessarily going to get us anywhere.
Okay, I hear you. Ben, what about you?
Yeah, I'm for talking to people who have different opinions or ideologies than myself.
Why is that?
Many reasons. Maybe to sharpen myself. Maybe to question whether my stance needs updating. I enjoy being challenged on my ideologies. That's more interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So do you feel like if you've seen someone online, for example, there must be people that all of us have seen online that we just think to ourselves, you know what, this person's not serious about life. But let's just say they've got a huge following and it's an opportunity to maybe get them on side or to support something or just in some area of life, just build some sort of solidarity, right?
Yeah.
Are you prepared to always have that conversation with them? Or do you feel like there are some people that are just too far gone? It's like pointless.
Yeah, they're always going to be people that are too far gone. And dependent on how much time I have, an environment that I'm in, I'm not sure if it's I can waste that time. Especially if it is that I know that they are just, I guess, trolling. Yep.
Okay. Do you guys feel like, because obviously like the very fact that obviously we're talking about this, because obviously we've mentioned many times before, we need to have a conversation about this. And some people walk away from those conversations saying this is not productive, or, you know, that was an amazing conversation, I've now learned something new. Do you guys feel like generally the net result of all these conversations is something positive, number one? And number two, do you feel like we need to have more conversations? So bearing in mind that a lot of the time how they end sometimes, but like we also said, sometimes we can pick up good things, we can build solidarity, we can raise awareness. Do you feel like it's necessary to continue having these conversations, even though it may be draining?
Yeah, I think some things, unfortunately, you always have I think it depends on each individual. Like when it comes to like race conversations, I don't really care to teach people about race issues.
External.
It's not my, externally, it's not my plight. It's not something that I have a drive for. But when it comes to talking about women and injustices against women, I've got all the time for that. As draining and tiring, Lord knows, child, it is. I feel that, and I will I feel like that's one of my callings, if that makes sense. So I feel like it just depends on what it is that moves you and what you feel the most passionate about and stuff like that. Like I will always defend women. I will always defend children. I will always defend homeless people. Like there's just certain things that I'm very, very drawn to, and yeah. So I feel like it depends on what your area of specialty or care is, I would say.
Do you feel like conversations are necessary for creating change?
Yeah. Because how would we know what changes need to be made? Like Brent was saying about like having conversations with people that think differently to him makes him think, does he need to update how he thinks? I see it the same way. How would we know change that we need to update if we're not having conversations? It's not gonna, I feel like that's how things happen. It's not gonna just come from, we can't be thinking things like, and then telepathically that's somehow gonna manifest into change in real life, tangible change. I don't think it works like that. We have to have conversations. In my opinion.
A lot of the time we have spoke about, every now and again it comes up in certain conversations where it's like, look, this particular group needs to have a safe space to talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about more productive things of that nature, right? When it comes to topics like this, do you feel like it's necessary to have people talk or have, I guess, the loudest voice only if they've got experience?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I think different people bring different skills to things. The things I haven't been through, but I can understand and empathize because I'm an empathetic person. That is a skill that I have. You know, I have a skill of being able to connect to people and make them feel listened to and be present when they need that presence, kind of thing. So I think people have different skills. I don't believe you have to have been through something to be able to talk about it. Like I don't believe that.
Okay.
Personally, or I'm yet to find an example of something that I do need to have been through to, you know, to have that conversation. But I think you have to have a mixture, and it also depends when it comes to like stuff like mental health and traumas and stuff like that. It depends why that person is wanting to speak to you. Do you know what I mean? Like I have a therapist. My therapist is there for what my therapist is there for. But say for like I speak to Brent about stuff. I don't necessarily go to Brent as my therapist. Do you get what I mean? So like the purpose that Brent serves in my life in terms of sharing things with him is different to the purpose of the person I'm paying to do that. Do you get what I mean? So I think it really just depends on why is that, and sometimes I need advice from Brent, and so the conversation we're having will be, oh, I need advice about this. Da, 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 da. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I think it depends it's always about the person and what it is that they're trying to get out of it. I do think if there's a group and someone does need help and they're coming with help and the people that they're speaking to are not equipped to be able to give advice of that profession, then that will be a pointless conversation because all this person has done is just tell you what's going on with them. You're not able to help them. And then what's next?
Do you feel like trust is also an element?
Always.
Exactly. So in those situations where I guess maybe we're having a conversation with, let's just say 10 people from...
I knew he would rise up. Sorry, one said, conversation without knowledge quickly become hypothetical circular arguments. Depends. I guess it depends on the topic. Yeah.
So so I guess you would need to, hence the reason why you leave certain things for your therapist.
Yeah.
Because I guess there's that trust and you knowing that that this person has some sort of experience. Even if they haven't experienced exactly what it is, they've had experience in talking to people who maybe have had that experience. It's
not so much that. It's more knowledge, and I think it's also equipped. Like I have a thing where I don't like to dump on people.
Yeah.
Like as much as I tell Brent stuff, Brent will tell you as well, I'm very secretive. Like I don't like to tell people stuff because I don't believe in dumping on people. If I'm going to speak to people as well, I don't like to, that's just me. I just don't like to, everyone's got stuff that they're dealing with. So I don't necessarily want to just dump on you and add to you when I know you probably got stuff that you're dealing with and blah, 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 blah. So I don't think necessarily it's to do with experience, going to a therapist. It's more knowledge and it's more being an expert in that area.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So even though, for example, they haven't experienced it themselves, they've got the knowledge from even dealing with other people. They've studied certain things.
Yeah.
So that also adds to equipping them with the tools necessary to help you in the situation. But also the trust element, the fact that you can speak to Brent, I feel like you can keep talking to Brent because you feel like, okay, he's trustworthy to hear the information, but also will give you some productive advice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How can we kind of foster that in the Black community?
I think for one, sometimes when people come in, when it comes to conversations and like conversations of things that people are dealing with, sometimes people aren't necessarily telling you stuff for you to respond with something, with advice. Sometimes people just want to be heard. They just want that when I'm sitting in front of you and I'm talking to you about this, I want to know that you're listening to me. I want to feel heard. I want to feel seen. I want to know you're present and you're hearing what I'm saying. I think that's one of the first things. I think one of the most important things about communication is making people feel heard, making them feel seen, making them feel like you're invested in what they're talking about. And that's in little things like not being on your phone, not being distracted, not looking at this or looking at that, or like even if you can look at somebody, I know sometimes people feel weird about eye contact over a long period of time, but just letting them know that, okay,
that you're in tune,
like you're listening. Like, do you get what I mean? I think a lot of times you'd be surprised. Some people just want to be heard. Like they just want like just to release what's going on in their mind. Like one thing I've learned is that when there's things in your mind, it's very, very heightened. And then when you say it out loud, it's like, oh, actually, it's not even that bad. And sometimes people just want that, just someone they can speak to. I feel like that's it. And I think also not passing judgment is so important. Like just because you wouldn't live your life that way, or it's not something that you would do, it's not a belief that you have and whatnot, doesn't mean that you should necessarily harshly judge them. And I think judging somebody is different to holding them accountable, because you don't love that word, holding them accountable or being real with them.
It's funny that you don't love that word. I was thinking it's funny how you hate that word.
You know, it's so funny. It's actually so funny. I'm glad you brought that up. The other day when it was Brent and E-Man talking about something, and I can't remember what they were talking about, and it was so funny because I was like, oh, this is such a case in point how men lack accountability. But men would never, hold your breath, men would never say, men always point fingers at women lacking accountability, but both parties can lack accountability. Men lack accountability crazy. But you just don't say it because you convince yourself that's only women. Here you go and lacking accountability, but lacking accountability is so funny, isn't it? But anyways, what was the question? Yeah, I think sometimes it's just that, like, it's just how it is that you just engage people and let them know. And I think with trust as well, that's what I was talking about, trust. Not judging somebody, not projecting. Projection one is a difficult one, but people projecting left, right, and center. But it's tools like that, and I think also as well, it's tools like that make people feel that they can trust you, and you give them that space. And obviously, not telling people their business and stuff like that. But yeah,
guys, I feel like there's no need to mention the negatives like that come from conversations because we've all experienced them, right? So we've already touched on some of the positives already. Just want to mention a few others.
Yeah.
Empowerment and education, which I guess kind of ties into what you were saying about raising awareness as well.
Yeah.
Because there's just certain things you just don't know. For instance, look how many times we've had these wonderful guests here and we felt empowered or, you know what I'm saying, like enlightened about certain things we had no idea about before. You know what I'm saying? Or even if we did know, it came as a refresher or something. All these conversations, that's something that can come from this, right? Obviously, we mentioned before about creating change, healing and restoration.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that can come from conversations. But like you said, I think having the right spirit and like you said before, that spirit of judgment, leaving that at the door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if we do see each other as a community, then really we shouldn't be coming to these conversations like that. We may have the tendency to want to judge and say, but why did you live your life like this? Why were you like this? This is your fault, right? And having that whole accountability thing that you're talking about. But if we do want the best for everybody, and we know it's essential that we're all together and moving in a similar direction anyway, that part has to be part of it, right?
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes you have to ask yourself, because when someone says something to me and I think, oh, what you've done is silly, is dumb or whatever, like what benefit does it make for me to tell them now that what they've done is stupid?
Yeah.
Like, what does that actually do for them in this moment where they're feeling down and low and sad about what they've done? How does it help if I'm just piling on? And I think sometimes that's what it is about judgment, is that all you're doing is piling on to how this person already feels. And again, it's what I always ask myself with every conversation, to what end? If I said this to you now, to what end? Do you get me? And I feel like there's just a way. I feel like being able to have conversations and stuff is an art to it. There's a skill to it. There's a skill to it. There's an art to it of knowing when it is to then come in with advice, of knowing when it is. Because sometimes, the first conversation you just had with someone about this thing is not when to give them advice. It's not. Because right now, what they want, they're probably upset or they're stressed or whatever it is. Right now, they are not in a frame of mind to take advice from you. And so your advice is going to be useless, and then you might feel like I'll give you advice, but you haven't done anything with it, kind of thing. But yeah,
I don't know if this is a silly idea, but what do you guys think about this? Do you feel like it's necessary to maybe let's just say we created a culture of having conversations? So, for example, what we're looking to do at TMB, right? Well, we have a conversation about a multitude of different things, right? Do you feel like it's necessary to have a conversation or a space where people can talk foolishness, productive foolishness? What I mean by that is not just come in there and be foolish, but the things that for example, wasn't good for you, right? And like Esther's saying, not just have somebody just attack you and pile on, but you say it, you release it, everyone does, and it's like, cool, yeah, guys, we messed up here. Let's not do this again, and then walk out. And that's just the aim of the conversation. In the same way, like as you're living your life, you have a place where you put your rubbish. And then every Monday, someone comes and takes your rubbish away. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the rubbish and go through it looking for stuff. There's nothing productive to get from it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you mess around and you drop your fork in there or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you're clearing your plate. But you know what I'm saying? So something like that where it's like, cool, the aim of this particular conversation is just to come here and be like, cool, look, we could have done this better. We messed up. But no one's going to judge me. No one's going to say so-and-so. But it's just the acknowledgement that all of us here in the room came to talk about something negative about themselves. So it's not like I came to talk something negative, you came just to listen. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise then I guess it's easy to judge. You know what I'm saying? Because you're coming in almost moralizing. You know what I'm saying? Because you've got nothing to dump here.
Yeah.
But the dumpers come, dump something here, and then we leave and we don't touch it again. You know what I'm saying?
But isn't that like what people do in their friendships?
Precisely, but as a community.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm not trying to say across someone that doesn't know me dumping my flaws from last week.
I guess it wouldn't necessarily be like the individual, but let's just say there were groups of smaller organizations. So let's just say you represented a women's organization.
Yeah.
I represented, I don't know, a men's organization, but represented a business organization. Margs represented podcast organizations. And we all came together and we spoke about some of the things where we kind of failed when it came to our reaching our aims and objectives. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of left it there.
That's T-means. Sounds like a review of a project.
Yeah.
But what we could have done better, what we didn't do.
Yeah. But sometimes we only have them amongst ourselves. So I would only have that with the men, and you would only have yours with the women. But really...
Yeah, but what benefit is it for you to know how I messed up in my organisation?
I think sometimes it's kind of like what I was saying before about there's just certain things you just want to get rid of. You just want to get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes because I'm not privy to you being a human being, like I may come to you and because you're listening to me, you may think you're just judging.
You sound like a gossip. You just want to know you just want to know what I didn't do well. Make yourself feel better about your damn mistakes. And then we all just leave this room. And then come back again next Monday and do the same thing.
Even if that was the case, would that be completely bad?
No, it's not, because I do that with relationships.
There you go.
Do you know what's so mad? I actually, because I love relationships and I love learning about relationships. I love speaking to people in relationships, people that are not in relationships. Like I love stuff to do with relationships, right? Yeah. I learn a lot about stuff like that because I find humans very fascinating and how it is we come together and blah, 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 whatever. And sometimes obviously I see negative stuff. And essentially these people are kind of dumpers. They've dumped it. I ain't done nothing because it's not take my shit to the grave. But it's like, okay, like I know where you fell short and I pick up lessons from that or I don't. Or sometimes it's just gist. And I'm okay, that's great. And then we just keep it moving. But I wouldn't say it's productive for me because of how my mind is set up and what it is and just how I think and how I blah, blah, blah kind of thing. But for the most part, that's kind of like what social media is for some parts where people come and do a thread on some kind of story time and they've let people know they dumped something. But everyone on the other end of it is gist. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not many people use that as productively. Because I was having a conversation with someone the other day, I can't remember who it was, and I was saying why is it that most people that I've come across that have gone married have said if they could go back in time, they would have a small, intimate wedding. That's such a common thing. But I said, why is it that they always say this and they always preach and they're loud about it, but then the people that are about to get married go ahead and have a big ass wedding anyway.
What's their reason for saying they have to make it small and intimate though? The money they'll save.
Yeah, the money they'll save, and I think also just in the fact of like the sanctity of the wedding. Like you got bare people that you pay to come and whatnot, but they don't really care, and then you don't really speak to them after. They don't really check in on you as a couple. Like they're not really a community, like a village for you. So it's just like if I could go back, I would have done this differently. On account of I'm seeing what actually matters in marriage and stuff like that. But I'm like, why is it that these people keep saying these things, but then the people that come in to get married, they don't. They go ahead and do the same thing, and then years later they're like, I should have listened. I should have. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes with human beings, it depends who you're listening to, or who is receiving the information that's being dumped. Are they going to use it? Because again, there's a productive conversations being had. But then some people are just thinking, oh no, that will happen to me. That will happen to that's just your story, not going to be mine. So I think it always just comes back to who is on the receiving end of whatever conversation is being had. It's like a lot of wealthy people, a lot of rich people, millionaires and whatnot, always tell people that, you know what, I've made it to the top, and I'll tell you what's most important. It's family, spending time with family, friends, your community. Yes, people talk about money, blah, 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 but it's not all that. Like, they share these things and everyone says, nah, that's just your story. When it's me, it'll be different. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So I think it always just depends. But then there's people that when they listen to that, they're like, okay, I'm going to have value and I'm going to place value then on these things that these people clearly wish they had done.
Yeah.
So do you get what I mean? I just think it just always falls back to who is on the receiving end of what's being talked about.
And I guess, to wrap up now, right, one could also say, just to add on to that point, you also have to consider that sometimes, like you said earlier, you just don't know who's listening. Yeah. So even if it seems as though loads of people are still going for the same, spending 20, 30, 50K on a wedding.
On loans.
right, there's still some people who said, you know what, I've heard this enough. I'm only going to spend 10K. Yeah. I'm only going to spend, I don't know, 5. I don't even know if that's possible now. But you know what I'm trying to say?
You'll get married in a shed. And that shed cost you 4,500. You ain't got no cake.
You know what I'm saying? But at least some people are taking on that information. Because like you said earlier, these conversations also kind of allow people to know about the work some people are doing that otherwise you never would have known. And so even though the person who, because a small wedding isn't loud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you would never know that person who had the small wedding had the small wedding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You'd only hear about the loud. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I guess we can wrap it up there, man.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's get into our next headlines.
All right, people. Sorry to start with this one, but this is another trigger warning. They need to just send this woman to the moon somewhere. But this is about the child serial killer, Lucy Letby, who apparently is renewing her bid to challenge her convictions at the Court of Appeal. The nurse had an initial application for permission to appeal against all of her convictions refused by a judge without a hearing last month. We spoke about that. Letby has since chosen to renew her efforts to take forward her appeal. This was confirmed by a judicial spokeswoman on yesterday, right? So a hearing is expected to be held in London before a panel of 3 senior judges at a later date, where they will decide whether to grant leave to appeal. The jury in Letby's trial at Manchester Crown Court was unable to reach verdicts on 6 counts of attempted murder in relation to 5 children. Letby will face a retrial at the same court in June on a single count that she attempted to murder a baby girl known as Child K. Imagine how many children you've got to get to Child K.
But I tell you that, like, she's an actual sicko. And the fact that they try to fire those ethnic doctors, as in like,
can you imagine?
As in like, not even doctors, as in like surgeons, as in in the medical field, they are the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Over a murdering nurse.
Yeah.
Because she's white.
That's disgusting.
The fact that she keeps getting, I hope this is her last. She's hit the quota
chance,
for appeals, because I don't want to hear about this woman until they're announcing that she's gone to meet her judge. Because, and I don't mean the earthly judge, I mean the heavenly one. She's a sicko. She's sick.
This is why they need to bring back capital punishment. See, I go back and forth.
There's someone like that, though, 100%. 100%. And she should have been one of those ones where they used to do in the Tudor times, where they make it a cinematic experience.
Yeah.
Because you can't go around. If you did that, she kept a diary of when these kids were born, and then stalked the parents on the anniversary of the babies she killed to see, like, it gave her like a thrill, like a high to see them grieving their loss.
It's disgusting, man.
And she's allowed to appeal. Human rights does not apply like that. If you take away people's human rights, you shouldn't be allowed to have human rights.
And this
human rights is the privilege.
And this animal was also allowed to not turn up to court, remember?
Yes. Because she didn't want to, she just didn't want to listen to her verdicts. How could you not want to listen to what you did? The fact that she keeps she's allowed to appeal is just, I hope this is her last chance. I don't want to see about this woman again.
Disgusting.
And all those stupid papers talking about, she's got an angelic face.
Animals. These are the people that enable this foolishness.
It's mad.
They need to hang this woman on TV, man.
Just because she's white. What a privilege.
This is a damn shame. Anyway, speaking about death penalties, right? Zimbabwe, their cabinet has agreed to abolish the death penalty for murder offences. This is almost 2 decades after its last execution. So the cabinet approved a memorandum on the private member's death penalty abolition bill introduced to Parliament last year, bringing an end to the death penalty introduced in the Southern African nation, by a British colonial administrator. So this is something that was inherited by the Brits. In an official statement, the Zimbabwean cabinet stressed the need to maintain a fair and balanced penal system where aggravating circumstances can result in life sentences. The last execution in Zimbabwe was in 2005, marking a decade and a half since the country renounced its controversial practice. The president himself, a former death row inmate during the struggle for independence from British rule, played a central role in this historic decision. And our last headline, thousands of people are fleeing violence in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo as fighting intensifies between the Congolese army and the M23 armed group. So sad, man. We spoke about this a couple of times now. Fighters reportedly surrounded the strategic town of Sake on Wednesday, which is a crucial step before reaching Goma, which is the capital of North Kivu. Capturing Sake would deal a logistic blow to the Congolese soldiers. The Congolese army and the United Nations peacekeepers have been struggling to contain M23's advance. Thousands are on the road right now trying to escape the violence and get to Goma. This is what Al Jazeera's, one of the Al Jazeera's reporters said when they were reporting on the situation. He went on to explain that they've been fighting for a week right now, but this morning again, rebels have tried to take over the main city. It remains unclear whether the army or the rebels are now controlling the area. But about 42,000 people have been displaced from Masisi alone since February the 2nd. But yeah, hoping for the best, man, in that country. But that's it for the headlines, man. Time to pay the bills.
Thank you. Let's get into some word on road. Okay. Do you remember? Okay. So when I said the name Bobbi Althoff, I think that's how it's pronounced. Who did you think about?
Who?
Bobbi Althoff. Althoff? Yeah.
No,
You remember that white girl that was out here interviewing people and Offset red hair for filth?
Okay.
That girl. She's a grown-ass woman, you know. She's getting a divorce.
Oh, that's sad.
Obviously, divorces are sad.
Yeah.
But I thought she was a kid.
I don't know who she is.
She's just this white girl that was doing like an awkward, I would say awkward style interview. I don't think she deserved as much cooking as she was getting, if I'm being real with y'all. And I'm gonna get into it because some of you are gonna be shaking in the boots.
She took funny Marco style, though, innit?
Basically. But do you know what the issue is with stuff like this, yeah? So basically, where is she? Oh, she's only 26. Okay, well, she looks her age then.
Have you seen her and Sukiana?
Yeah. She looks like I don't think. I said, oh, you have to tell us. You can tell. You can tell. But basically, she was doing interviews with like rappers and stuff, but her style of interviews are acting like she doesn't know what they're doing. I thought she was acting. I didn't think it was like for real. But people took it as she wasn't really doing research and whatnot. And then they went to cussing her for that kind of thing. The Offset one is the funniest thing. I wish we could get the clip up. I should have thought about this. She is Offset, yeah. Offset's interview with her is the last time we saw her in the black market. I don't know if Sukiana's one is new or whatnot. But after the Offset one, I just stopped seeing her on my timeline. But the reason why I don't think that she should have been getting cooked the way she was getting cooked is that people forget that when it comes to celebrities and public figures and whatnot, doing like going on platforms, I think it is up to that celebrity to let their management or their PR, whoever it is that's doing, saying, I want to go on black platforms. I want to go on platforms that are not so big. I want to go on this big platform. I want to go on Breakfast Club, and I want to go on this podcast. I want to go on this. I want to go on that. I don't think it is the interviewer's fault, as in the white interviewer's fault, when it is that they've been presented with this person. That's why I didn't really agree with her getting cooked like that, because people are like, oh, like, these people are not going to, they should be going to Marco's. And Marco is flipping funny. His thing with Kevin Hart, yeah, finished me. It was so funny. But anyways, do you get what I mean? So people criticize the fact that they're not going on certain platforms and certain black platforms. But I think that's up to the celebrity. That's up to the person that's, you know, that's promoting whatever it is they're promoting, to know who their target audience is and be able to reach that. So I don't think she deserves to be cooked the way she is anyway. But anyway, she's getting a divorce. I didn't know she was 26. I thought she was like much older. But then in the interviews, I thought she was younger. So anyway, we're here. But basically, yeah, her divorce was announced, and I think they said her husband filed. But she basically posted a picture and she said, as most of you have heard, Corey and I have filed for divorce. As sad as I am right now, I am so thankful for the time I got to be his wife. Our girls, she hasn't got kids, that's wild. Our girls are so lucky to have him as a father, and I'm so lucky to be able to co-parent with such an incredible father and person. While our relationship did not work out as husband and wife, we will always be friends and I will always love him. So good luck to her, man. I do like the girl. I don't think, you know, she should have been cooked the way she was, but I will say Offset. Offset is so funny, you know. I would listen to a podcast with Offset. He's so funny, but because he's always rapping and whatnot and just like a Congolese uncle, you don't really get to experience his funniness. But he's hilarious. But yeah, but love to Bobbi, man. I like her. Also, I talked about Lightskin Keisha when she was, so funny to say, but when she was pregnant, when she announced her pregnancy. But she's giving birth, man. She's giving us her baby.
Congrats.
I believe it's a boy. And also, she's married. This is the kind of marriages I like. She and her husband got quietly married, secretly married. I love a quiet wedding. That's a dream, boy. But yes, she basically had an interview with People, an exclusive interview with People.
Sorry, Esther.
Yeah.
That same interviewer, is that the one who Drake had sex with?
Bobbi.
Allegedly. And then
Drake was
they
on it.
unfollowed each other on Instagram, and then his interview got taken down, and then we didn't see her doing any interviews afterwards.
Yeah, so I didn't see about the sex thing,
Oh.
but Drake did have an interview with her that looked like it did not go well. But I think that was serious, you know. I think it did unfold after. So what is even good?
Maybe that's why the husband decided that he's had enough, because he got the
because so Drake's
the
dick.
elephant trunk. Yeah. No, because it was in his wife.
No, but didn't have a problem with it all this time. That interview was time ago.
No.
So it's after the leak that now he has a problem with it. And now he's like, oh, that's what you had in you?
I'm sure the divorce wasn't just decided on yesterday.
Yeah, but why didn't we know about it?
I'm sure they were. That's because they kept it quiet. And you haven't been seeing her, have you?
No.
They've been arguing behind the scenes. Lawyers and
But
that.
that's true. You can't forgive cheating, man, when a woman cheats on you.
Well, he's not a cock then, is he? He's a good fella.
Who's a
Don't
good
forgive
fella?
cheating when the woman's what, cheating?
Who's a
that
good
what you
fella?
said?
Who's a good fella?
Is that, should I clip it?
Huh?
Thanks,
Should I
even
clip it?
nothing.
Share it?
I'll share it.
Oh, you shared that one. I said I'll share it. Not you volunteering to share stuff. Anyway, clip it. I said what I said. So Lightskin Keisha's had a baby with her partner Coca Vango, and they said we're incredibly obsessed with our son. He's everything we prayed for. My pregnancy went smoothly, thanks to my husband's support for an easy, stress-free experience. It went by quickly, and now he's here live and direct. She said words can't describe it, but seeing him and doing skin to skin made me think I could do it again, maybe 2 more times. He's so cute and we're just so in love with him. And she also, about their wedding, she said, after 6 years together, we've built not only a friendship and a solid relationship, but also our little family. We're soulmates, so marrying my best friend felt right. The transition into family life has been smooth because we were already like family. Being together for so long, having a child was a cherry on top. I sometimes get emotional looking at him, crying tears of joy, as it's everything I've prayed for. That is so sweet. I feel truly blessed to have this little person in my life now. So beautiful, man. Congratulations to her. Which is good. I don't think Power started filming the new season, so she can be healed well and great to go again. And then Auntie Monique. I love Monique, man. They could never make me hate Monique. They could never make me hate Monique. I don't care how hard Oprah, Tyler Perry, and them try. They can't make me hate Monique. So she stopped by Club Shay. You know, Cat Williams got foresight. It's like me. But he basically said, remember when he said to Shannon how, watch, after this interview, there's going to be a place for truth tellers kind of thing. It's going to be a place where people come to tell the truth. And when I saw the Monique, I mean, I like Monique anyway. I believe that woman, everything she said, everything she did, like, I'm here for it. I feel like something about a black woman being painted as difficult just doesn't... I just feel there's always something more to the story. And indeed, there's a lot more to the story because I learned stuff about the whole Precious situation that now I'm thinking, what audacity. I'll get to it in a second. But yeah, so it was really, really cool. The interview was like 2 hours and 55 minutes long. But it was really good. It was a very, very good, interesting watch and listen. She did say that basically her and Cat Williams, she said they're basically like, she feels like they're fraternity twins kind of thing. She talks about everybody, first of all. So first, let's start with Kevin Hart, man.
How you feeling about Kevin Hart after this bombshell?
Fred.
Oh, serious?
Fred. Trying to make me hate Kevin Hart. I love Kevin Hart, you know. Basically, the situation with Kevin Hart was... so remember when the whole Precious thing happened? And she was meant to... let me explain the Precious thing, then we can go into Kevin Hart thing, to be fair, because that was before. So the Precious thing... Remember she was the one... She did Precious and whatnot. Got the script. It was an independent film. Remember there was a whole lot of situation regarding the Precious situation where they basically said that she was difficult to work with, blah, blah. And essentially that was because So Precious was done by Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels, who she had the agreement to do Precious with, right? Cool. I think Oprah and Tyler were like producers on it, but Lee Daniels is the person that hired her, and Lee Daniels is the one that sorted the contract. So my contract is with Lee Daniels, right? And she said when it came to doing Precious, she did the promo, she did the magazines, she did the Oprah interview, she did every single thing, checked every single box that she was meant to do for Precious in relation to her contract with Lee Daniels. Now, the film did so well that it went to the Cannes Film Festival. That was where the whole situation then happened. Because she then she got her call, her husband got a call, but when Lionsgate was speaking to her husband, they thought it was, not even, one of them anyway, they thought they were speaking to her lawyer, not her husband. So they basically said that, Monique, the film is coming to Cannes, we're going to fly to Paris. We want you to come here and do promo. Like, the promo you did in America was absolutely amazing, flawless, was great. We want you to come over here to France and do the same thing. At the time, she said she had a talk show. She was doing some comedy thing. She just finished Precious. So she said her show will be off for like 2 days in a week. And she said she wanted to spend that time with her husband and with her family. So she said, respectfully, no, thank you. They called a second time. Monique, we really, really want you. She said, thank you. I appreciate it. But again, I want to spend this time with my family. I've been working, I want to spend time with my family. Cool. They called a third time. Upon the third time, her husband was like, they were like, what can we do? We could do anything to get Monique. We'll upgrade her room. This is what they're upgrading. Her room, her car service. Anything to get Monique. Her husband said, okay, so how much are you putting down for her to come and do this promo run? Because clearly it's work, right? They said, oh no, we don't pay people to come and promote films in Cannes. And the husband said, okay, well, thank you very much. Once again, we decline. So that's what happened. When it comes to Precious, so she spoke to Lee Daniels or whatever, and was basically like, this is She spoke to Lee Daniels, spoke to Oprah, spoke to Tyler Perry. They all said they understood that she wasn't going to do it because she was going to essentially be working for free. Oprah herself apparently told her husband, loudspeaker, someone else heard it, that she understands, and sometimes she's had to make decisions like that as well when she's having to like juggle like something that's more valuable than So she understands where Monique is coming from. She said that Oprah's makeup artist that she's worked with as well was there in the room when Oprah had the conversation with her, and the makeup artist said he actually went on to tell Monique on her TV show that he asked Oprah, why don't you then pay her to do the run then if this is such an important thing? And Oprah said, I ain't paying her. Like, I'm not paying her for nothing. So there was that. Tyler Perry also apparently called into room and was like at some event or whatever. I was basically like, why aren't you doing the promo in Cannes? And she was like, okay, well, if there's such a pressing thing, why don't you pay me for it then? I mean, you're a producer on the show. Pay me for it then. Then he said he doesn't pay people for doing nothing. And she said, well, I don't work for nothing. She said she and Tyler Perry hugged, and he said, you know what? I hear it. Cool. Then she comes to find out that they're going around telling people that she's difficult to work with. And she's actually got an audio recording of Tyler Perry admitting that he made up that rumor about her being difficult to work with. Shannon actually listened to it. And what was so interesting was she asked Shannon, she said, did you listen to the clip? He was like, yeah. But then he was like, why did you record? You know that's illegal. And she said, you see, that's the problem. She said, because when I was telling people that this is what they were doing to me, everyone called me a liar. No one believed me. She said, I have now given you the receipts of what it is that they actually did, him admitting it on the phone. And your first response is not, damn, they really did lie on you. Your first response is, yeah, but you know you're not allowed to record people. She said, this is part of the problem. So she was saying, even with Precious, do you know how much they paid her for Precious? Please take a guess. You watched it though?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
The state in which it is that she lives in, she's allowed to record.
Yes, she's allowed to record, so it's not illegal in her state. Yeah. Guess how much they paid her for Precious, please? That she won an Oscar for. Just take a hazard a guess.
50 grand or something?
50 grand.
But that's correct.
That's it.
50K.
50K. They paid...
What about royalties after that?
That's it. That's the money she received from Precious. That's it. And they wanted her. So now here, story is mad. And they wanted her on 50K because she said she took it because it was an independent film. There wasn't any big company funding it. So she did it knowing that, do you know what? It's an independent film. But her husband said when he read the script, he was like to her, like, this is gonna be this is a sick role. He was like, don't act like you're acting, embody the role kind of thing. And obviously that's what got her Oscar and blah blah blah. So in an ideal world, the fact because he said when Tyler Perry was asking about doing the promo in Cannes and whatnot, he was like to her like, you're gonna win an award for this. Oh, you got the Oscar for this. Following an Oscar, you're gonna go up to millions. And she was like to him, I'm a black woman. I'm a fat black woman. When are we ever paid that? He was like, no. Like, it will happen. So as kind of like go and do the promo for free. But I'm like, so you sort of wanted that woman to work like a donkey for $50,000. Mad. So that happened. So with Oprah as well, one of her beef with Oprah, so trigger warning, sexual assault. So please tune out for the next 10 seconds. But basically, she was molested by her brother when she was younger. And Oprah basically was like to her, so obviously everyone knows Oprah's story as well. So was Oprah by somebody in her family, I think her stepdad or something like that. But basically, when Oprah had a show, she was going to have, she said, she called Monique up and said, your brother wants to, we're thinking about having your brother on the show. He's reformed, he's changed, blah, blah, blah. And he wants to come and speak and essentially educate people on how it is that they can kind of clock predators in families and all that kind of stuff and blah, blah. And they said, and Oprah basically asked her, can you come on the show as well? And Monique said, thank you for telling me. I respect you highly for even letting me know this was going to happen. But I don't want any dealings with that man. But if you want to have him on the show and you're saying that he's there, she said, I'm not going to be the one to block, essentially, people learning something that could help. So if you want to have him on the show, have him on the show, cool. She said when she saw the show, when she saw the promo for the show, Oprah had her entire family and didn't tell her. Oprah had her grandparents, had her mum, had her dad, had her other siblings and whatnot. But the thing is, Monique has got a troubled relationship with her parents. And she was like, I know the troubled relationship I have with my parents. The world don't need to see my parents in this light. So that's one of her beefs with Oprah as well, that Oprah never told her that she was going to have an entire family and essentially kind of embarrassed her, blindsided her. She said for months after the interview, people will come up to her in the stores and stuff and be like, oh, your mom's a piece of shit. Like saying all these things about her mom. She was like, Shannon, they're right. But she was like, I don't need anyone telling me about what my mom isn't. And she said, I'd never wanted the world to see my mom as the greedy woman that she is and blah, 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 blah. So that's her beef with Oprah. She said also, there were roles promised to her that Lee Daniels had promised her. So when it comes to Empire, she was meant to be Cookie Lion, that Taraji obviously got. She said Taraji was amazing, but she said that role was promised to her. There was also another role, I think is it a Butcher or something like that Oprah is in. There's 2 films that Oprah have been in that were actually Monique's role. As in, those roles were given to Monique. But then she got a call after saying, oh, they've gone a different way. And when she's seen the different way they've gone, it's Oprah. Lee Daniels has apologized to her. She said he actually, not only did he apologize to her, but apologized to her children as well. Because she said she's lost millions. Like, the amount of money she was making yearly, she's lost millions from this whole thing about she's difficult to work with. Like when the agents put her off for something, they would tell her agents, oh no, we've heard she's difficult to work with, so we're not going to do that. Here's where Kevin Hart enters the chat. She was on Kevin Hart's show, right? So she was on Kevin Hart's show. Kevin Hart was like, oh, I guess they had a conversation about, well, blah. She lets Kevin Hart know this is what's happened. Even plays the voice note again, the audio again of Tyler Perry. Kevin's like, that's crazy. Do you know what? I'm going to speak to him because this man owes you an apology and needs to apologize, blah, blah, blah. And Kevin says to her, do you know what? Anything that you want to do, he basically said to Monique that she's like a mum to him, she's like an auntie to him, like that kind of figure or whatnot. So he said to Monique, whatever it is that you want to do, I am right behind you. Like, I have got you, put my name on it, I'm going to be there, blah, blah. At the time, she's talking about doing a show or something like that with some company. She then obviously let them know that, oh, actually, Kevin Hart said he's going to come on as an executive producer, blah, blah. And they were like, oh, it's a green light then. Like, we're never going to have to... Do you mean, if Kevin Hart's name is on it, that's fine, because obviously Kevin Hart is Kevin Hart, right? She said weeks after that, she didn't get a call back from Kevin Hart about talking to Tyler. Actually, did she get a call back from him?
So you missed out the part where he said he was going to talk to this guy. He went to talk to this guy, and then she didn't get a phone call. When she called him now, Kevin said, this guy said, forget about it. Tyler Perry said.
Yeah, that's what I'm going.
No, you're about to say the thing after, where you didn't mention him being seen on the plane, his private jet, this, that, and next.
Whose private jet?
The Tyler Perry's private jet.
Oh, no, yeah. I actually forgot about that.
And then after that was the whole...
but then
the production company called Kevin, and Kevin said Kevin's PA
Yeah, so that's
said,
where I'm going now.
Yeah, no, that's the
Yeah.
So
So Kevin called Tyler, blah, blah. She didn't hear back from Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't hear back from Kevin and whatnot. And then I think when they had a conversation, Kevin's like, "Oh, Tyler Perry said that basically he wants to push it back and he doesn't want to revisit this." He told someone else about that as well.
That's when Kevin told her, "All right, you've got me
Oh
in perpetuity. Put my name to anything, and we'll make this money back."
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
We'll make the money back. So then, obviously, the company have then called her there. They've now called Monique back and said, "Oh, we've just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, and they said Kevin doesn't want to work with you, and he's not working with Monique, and Monique is difficult to work with, kind of thing, kind of vibe." So she's like, "Okay, I'll sort it out." She calls Kevin. Now she does like, "My sweet baby," that kind of vibe. Calls Kevin. She's like, "Oh, hey, this is what they said just happened. Your conversation, da 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 da." And he's like, "Oh, that is misinformation. That's not right. I didn't ask, essentially, I didn't ask him to say all of that stuff. I don't know where he would have got that from. Let me handle it. I'll call you back." She said, "Till today." 2 years later. She said 2 years later, she ain't heard anything from Kevin Hart. And then that's when she then seen Kevin body up with on Tyler's private jet and whatnot. So that was Kevin Hart's situation. She was talking about like when Kat came in and Kat was talking about gatekeepers and whatnot. Kat was right. Kevin is a gatekeeper. She's a legend, basically. That happened. Who else was right? So, Tiffany Haddish. Just because I'm on Kevin Hart, I talk about Tiffany Haddish too. She was dragged a little bit as well, rightfully so. Because basically, Tiffany had a cover with GQ magazine or interview with them or whatever it was. She decided to use that time to drag Monique and basically say that she doesn't work like Monique. And she doesn't work like Monique and certainly not with... She basically dissed her husband, dissed Monique's husband. And Monique essentially said that, you know what, Tiffany? Maybe if you had a husband like mine, you wouldn't have two DUIs. Maybe if you had a husband like mine, you wouldn't have found yourself in situations where you got allegations against you now that you were grooming a child. I said, you know what, auntie? I hear it. That's fair. With Taraji now, she talks about Taraji as well and talks about how sad it is hearing Taraji with everything that's going on, blah, blah, blah. And she said about with Taraji, she said that these are the things that she talked about time ago. She said where everyone's trying to act as though... Because remember the whole Colour Purple press run? And people were listening to how Oprah's body language with Taraji is acting like she don't really like Taraji. She's saying that what people are seeing and what the conclusion essentially people have come to is how it is. Because she said what they do in Hollywood is that they make with black women, they make you feel like you should be grateful for crumbs. And essentially, because she said in the press run, the girls are saying how they were handpicked for those roles. However, they had to audition. And she was like, being handpicked for something means you don't have to audition. But the fact they handpicked you, they make you feel special, but they make you audition to keep you humble, is why they don't feel like they have to kind of maintain certain standards. So obviously, they talked about, Taraji and them talked about the trailer having bugs, not having food, not having this, not having that, having to call Oprah and whatever. But she was like, in the case where you got Oprah on a project anyway, none of these things should have happened. Because you got this black woman there who apparently is everyone's big sister and whatnot, kind of looking out for you. So she was saying with the Taraji thing, it's sad and whatnot, but this is a conversation that she's had before. And she said there was something that she and Taraji worked on like years ago, something like that anyway, they had a run-in. And there was something that wasn't right. And Monique was talking about addressing it. And Taraji was like to her, we just got to keep going. And she was like to Taraji, no, because when we ignore things and we say we're going to keep going, whatever, that's how people get away with stuff. So essentially, what Taraji is saying today is essentially what Monique said back then. And she also talked about the Queens of Comedy situation and said how they were killing it. They were killing it, whatever. But they weren't getting paid right. There was times where her money would be short and blah, blah. And like she got all of that straightened out, addressed. And then when they were going to do a Kings and Queens of Comedy show, all the men got like a limo each. And then they asked the women to squeeze in one limo. And she was like, no. No, thank you. We're going to get our own limo kind of thing. What else? She talked about DR Hughley as well. He's replied, but...
Oh, negatively about DR.
Yeah, so basically she went on his show. She said that he's always taking like digs at her here and there, blah, 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 and her husband, blah, blah. But she basically went on his show, on his radio show and whatnot. They had a great, great time. And then they were playing this game, Would You Rather? And she was like, oh, like, let's go. And then Shannon was like, yeah, but that's like young people's game. But she was like, yeah, but they were having a great time. So she felt safe with them. She felt cool with them, whatever. But one of the would you rather, they kind of put her husband in a very stupid scenario, talking about like, would you rather your husband sleeps with Lee Daniels, like just very vulgar stuff about her husband or something else. And she found it very disrespectful. And she called DR Hughley and said, this is what's happened, that this is disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. And he basically dismissed it and said, this is what we do. This is the game we play on the show. So get over it, kind of thing. And she found out it was distasteful. And obviously they had that whole contracts thing that happened afterwards. But then he responded yesterday, and he basically called her a liar and said that that game was scrapped from the show after that. And he said that that segment didn't air. But she said the reason why it didn't air, because she wasn't going to allow people to degrade and disrespect her husband like that publicly, was her lawyers actually sent a cease and desist to make sure that it doesn't get aired, because she was like, how can, like, don't disrespect me, you can't, I'm not going to sit here and have you disrespect my husband like that kind of thing, blah, blah. So DL said whatever he said and whatnot. I don't really care for him ever since I heard that he didn't really support his child when his child was molested. Don't really care for people like that. Who else did she talk about? She talked about... What did she talk about?
She talked about herself at the end.
Yes, she's so funny. She's so funny. She talked about also, she praised her husband so well, which was absolutely so beautiful to hear. I loved it. I loved like how she just talked about her man and how he's always there and just like a king, man.
She's done the whole interview in that voice as well, innit?
I don't know, I sped it up because I was short time. Oh, you mean like her sweet little voice?
Because I watched it, you know, like it premiered, I was watching it live, innit?
Okay, yeah.
And I was watching her talking, and the whole time I didn't get to finish it all, but the whole time she was just using that voice.
What voice?
You know that voice? Because she was explaining herself and she was trying to get you to empathise with her, and she was...
Oh, the way she talks like slow and like...
This is slow and the... I love the voice. Did she use it for
the
the whole...
auntie
I don't know. I was on.
Did she use it for the whole 3 hours?
I was on 2 times.
Oh, so you just had...
100%.
Yeah.
She didn't miss a beat.
So it was like, to be fair though, I slowed down. When she was talking about her husband, I slowed it down. I said, I want to hear this in Monique's voice. And it sounded sweeter. But yeah, she talked about her husband and stuff, and she talked about, what was it you said a second ago?
Oh, good, man.
About her. She was talking about like how back in the day, yeah, she was a hoe.
And she was very aggressive.
And then she said, no?
She said she was very aggressive.
No,
She used to snap back, you know?
Yeah, that was to do with...
She said, this, you know how black women do? I was like, wow. Let me rewrite it again. You know how black women do?
Yeah, but you're taking out of context there.
No, what? What?
No, you heard what I said. You're taking out of context. Anyways, right, and she was basically saying how when she met her husband and she felt like away because she'd been with people and blah, blah, and he was just like, oh no, like, you're not a hoe. You just got...
friendly pussy.
You got friendly pussy. She's funny, you know. She's so funny because it was so funny because basically Shannon tried to ask. So he didn't try. He did. He asked her about dating advice. She read him first of all. She said, first of all, she was like, "You're a 56-year-old man. You stop running around with these 26-year-olds. I need to get you a woman of your own age." Because he was like, when you're out here 56 with a 26-year-old and she wants to go for the 4th round and then you're all tired trying to give her money to go to Starbucks and shit. He was like, get you a woman your own age and let her make you a nice, nice little snack that will give you... And it was so funny.
She was also telling him to come home, innit?
Yeah, she basically like come home. Because basically she said how she'd heard that he doesn't like black women. But also that one, I was like, because basically she said she heard that he doesn't like black women. And he said that his grandma told him essentially that not to address things that are not real, innit? Okay. But then he goes, my mum is black and my kids are black. Mm-hmm. Personally...
One job! Don't worry, I'm not going to put you on camera. I'm going to tell you what.
What are you doing?
You should have left him standing.
Has this ever happened before?
No, never.
I don't feel...
The way your neck is stuck.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry guys, off air banter. But yeah, so basically his response to the rumor about him not liking black women was that his mum is black and his kids are black. And I don't think that's a reason. Hella black... No, let me finish my sentence. Hella black men that disrespect black women have black kids, black mums, black everything. I don't think that that's grounds for somebody... for it to not be true that they don't like black women. But again,
I mean,
I'll listen to him.
he
It's
said
not.
he dislikes black women, and he's saying that his children are black.
Yeah,
And his mother, the woman he probably loves the most in life, is black. That's a good enough argument, isn't it?
No, it's not. That's a weak argument, actually. Just because that
No, that doesn't mean I'm not saying he doesn't dabble in.
No, I'm not even talking about dabbling at all. Because he can do whatever
He's
he
saying
wants
like
to
a
do.
total dislike. I'm saying I thought that ain't that a good enough argument, a case.
This
Nah.
is what I was gonna say, because he has black kids.
Yeah, but there's hella black men that I've seen that are colorists, hate dark-skinned women, and the women they came from is dark-skinned, and their kids are also dark-skinned. I don't think that having black family or having... It's kind of like telling a white person who tells you they can't be racist because they got a black friend or their neighbor's black. It's the same thing for me.
Not the same though.
Why is it not the same?
Because your friend you can disregard. Like, because
No, but you can disregard your parent as well.
No,
you can
but-
disregard your family.
No, but your child, you've chosen to make a calculated
How many
decision
people are
to have children.
intentionally doing family planning?
Yeah, that's true. But he's got more than one child, right?
Okay, and
I think I'm not too sure if it's the same woman or whatever. But it looks like he's made the decision to have kids with a black woman.
I'm telling you, that's fine. I'm telling you that I don't believe that because you have black family, because your mom is black, your sister is black, your kids are black, means that you automatically may not dislike black women. I think those people are very different. They hold a different position in your life.
Is the language
to
important?
strangers.
If someone said to him, "I heard you don't date black women," yeah, I don't think that would be a good response, because you could have had black kids and that you could have where you are in your life now, you might not date black women. So I don't think that's a good response. But to say that he doesn't like black women, ain't that a justifiable response?
Tag me.
Tag him.
Tagged.
All right, cool. Check this, right? So, suppose, right, a man who is in the public eye, he's probably a presenter on a national broadcast station, is gay. And he's got 2 kids. You can't say he likes women.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Updated.
That'll do it. But all in all, anyway, was
because I know the Singapore guy. That doesn't feel fair. That doesn't feel
it's
fair.
the same thing, man.
I don't feel you can equate the same. Homosexuality and stuff like that has been illegal in other countries. Like, there's people that had to live in a closet for ages. I don't think they're the same. You know what I'm trying to say? At one point, you could be persecuted for being homosexual, so men had to live in secret and had to go and have families and do all these kind of things. And then in a different day and age, when it's easier to come out, you can come out and live your truth. I don't think it's fair to equate the two.
Do you know men that love, absolutely adore their mum, love their mum, but treat women as pieces of shit? That they treat women like shit.
Yeah, probably.
It's the same thing. Like, because someone can say the way you treat women is horrible, and then he can say, how could that be possible? I've got a mum, I've got a sister, I've got cousins. But again, the point I'm making is that the relationship he has with those women are different to the relationship that he would have with black women. Do you get what I mean? But I don't think that him liking like the different nationality of women anyway necessarily means he doesn't like black women. So that rumor, I understand why he didn't address it, because a rumor is like that. But I'm just saying that for me, that argument for me doesn't hold up. But like he said anyway, his grandma told him not to, not to address certain things, blah, blah. But all anyway, it was a very good interview. I really, really liked it. She is saying that, he asked her, like, how can she move forward with Tyler Perry and Oprah? And she said she just wanted to just be accountable for what it is that they've done. Because Tyler Perry, basically, in the conversation with Tyler Perry she had, the audio, he actually said that he was going to apologize publicly, blah, 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 whatever. And he just decided that he's just not going to address it and not going to do anything about it. And she was like, no, she deserves compensation, because you single-handedly ruined my career and made people think I was difficult to work with, and you have cost me millions. She said they literally was dealing with, like, it affected them financially and stuff. So you've single-handedly cost me money, and you're going around talking about I don't want to say da. And then who was it? Was it Oprah? Was it Oprah? Was it Tyler? One of them anyway, or maybe 2 of them. Let me know their besties anyway. But basically demand that she apologized to them. But she was like, apologize for what? You're the one who offended me. Like, what am I apologizing for, kind of thing?
Yeah, so they wanted her to go on national TV to retract what it is that she had put out.
Yeah.
So that their name wasn't sullied.
Yeah. But this time, they did do that shit.
This is after, like, are they saying this if they do an apology thing, or is this just do it?
Yes, no, they're saying, I think they're trying to say, like, we'll apologize
But then
after.
you
But
retract.
then after you've apologized and retract, and she's like, I'm not. I've got nothing to apologize for. I'm not doing that. I hear Monique, man. It's very sad. Obviously, she brought up the whole donkey of the day thing as well. But because she talked about the Netflix thing, and she was saying how with the Netflix thing, essentially Amy Schumer got a lot of money, and Netflix made it clear that she wasn't a legend. She hadn't done this, hadn't done that, but they thought like she should get the money. But then when they came to her, they said to her, "You are a legend. You've done this and that. Da 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 da. This is what we're gonna give you." So she said when she appealed for that, obviously that's when Charlamagne gave her donkey of the day, which she did address with Leonard. But she then said how people were reporting and calling her like all sorts of names for demanding to be paid her worth. And she said no one ever came back to report that Netflix actually did agree and paid her what she asked for. So it was. I think it was really good. It was a really good interview. Very interesting. Very interesting. I would say I liked it. I enjoyed it. But yeah.
She's made a Netflix thing about.
Also,
She's gonna drop it soon, innit?
was she?
Yeah, it's called Boo, I think. And she said you're gonna see it soon.
Okay.
So I think all this stuff is gonna be in the.
Is it gonna be in that?
I believe so.
That just reminded me as well. So basically, she was talking about when she was in the film Almost Christmas, and what's that girl? Will something? Will
Smith.
no. He's a producer or director. He's a producer. Not Will Ferrell. Will Packer.
Will Packer.
Yeah, him. Basically, I think he produced the film or wherever it was, and he basically said to her, her contract was for her to do a cameo. A cameo is one little glimpse of you, but then she said somehow they ended up working her into more scenes. I actually like that film. It's very, very good. It's called Almost Christmas, and they worked her into more things. But she said she didn't fight it on account of, I think some of the executive producer, someone like that, was a childhood friend of her husband or whatever. So like, you know, cool, whatever. And then with her contract as well, she was meant to get like a sitcom after and get this and get that, whatever, after. But anyways, she said that the way that they were treated in that film as well was horrible. She kind of linked it to when the Colour Purple situation of them having rats in their not caravan, trailers and whatnot. And she basically said how the way they're moving with that film was horrible, and he wasn't understanding, and he wasn't kind. Cut long story short, basically, their trailer caught on fire, as in it blew up. She said there was a gas leak, right? And they smelt it, and she let them know that there is a gas leak, that they can smell gas in the trailers and whatnot. And the person was like, the runner person was like, yeah, we spoke to Will about it. And he just said, okay, and left it. The thing caught it actually caught fire. And she actually posted the thing online. She was like, I'm going to post on my story. And she did post on her stories. And she said when that happened, then nobody thought to message, none of them reached out to anybody. She said, well, certainly not me, to ask if they were okay, blah, blah. All they asked her, was if her character's wigs were... Gosh! If her character's wigs were fine. And she was like, no, it burnt along with the trailer. So she was like, they never asked them if they lost anything personal or anything like that. They just moved on. It's horrible, man. The more you learn about stuff that goes on in Hollywood and whatnot. And she talked about the Parkers as well, which I reported on, which is why it's not anything at the moment. Because they're trying to tell them that the Parkers didn't make no money. And I think that she said they only got paid for the last season or something like that. And it was like, I think it was, what was it? It was like season 4, I think. It was 50 grand per episode.
An episode for that, 25.
Yeah, and it was 22 episodes. But then the other ones, they didn't get paid for it. And she actually got the Parkers 90 days when she was 90 days after being in Hollywood. Just like, yeah. But she's basically saying how her and Countess at the moment are trying to fight to get money because they're trying to tell them the show didn't make money, and so they need to just get over it.
A lot of that stuff was all her fault, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
because contracts.
She was just speaking about being naive to it, like that whole Parker's bit, what she was moaning about. She couldn't really. She never really had a leg to stand on. Like it was sad.
It was it's poor contracts.
It was just that was your fault. You missed it.
The husband was told her to stop playing the victim and blaming
this is to do,
Polish ways.
No, but that's
her.
different though.
What?
You're taking out of context again. I don't like that.
This is
I don't like the fact you're doing this. I don't like the fact that you're doing this. I'm very disappointed in you.
When you say take it
Anyways,
out of context.
right, you're really taking out of context. Go on, explain the context then. Because it's to do with her abuse and stuff. So you can't just drop a line about her husband told her to stop playing victim without letting people know why it is her husband asked her to stop playing victim.
Because he said that you're using it as a crutch. That's the word she said.
Yes, but that's the word she said. But why did she say that?
Because she's trying to paint a picture of this strong black man who came in and basically changed her life.
Okay, fair.
I listened to it.
Okay.
And at the end, she was talking about how she used to be this, that, and next. And yeah, you know the whole adage where women say, I'm only going to respect you and quote-unquote submit if it is you're worthy to submit to.
Yeah, but that was a good thing actually. I like the fact that she said that because she said her husband is quote unquote, I guess, worth submitting to because he never asked her to submit. And I keep telling you, that's how you know a real man. All the people that are fighting for the rights for submission, that ain't it, y'all.
And she said her
because she said that's a real man. He didn't have to ask for it. His actions and the way he is dictated that.
And she said her psychiatrist told her the same thing about stop using the victim mind, stop using stop playing victim and using it as a crutch in order to basically go and sleep with such. That's what the psychiatrist said.
Yeah.
And then she was like, yeah, that's my husband said. I'm just repeating what he said. I just happen to be smiling when I'm talking to you. That's why you're saying you don't like what I'm doing.
No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with your smile. I like your smile most days. It's the way you're dropping it. But anyways, it's a good interview. Go and watch it. Check it out. And also, last night the MOBOs happened. I'll just let you know a few of the winners. People were 7 looks. I don't like the function on Twitter. Okay, well, to be hypocritical, but you know how a lot of people have private accounts now because obviously they took circles away and whatnot. Yeah, I don't like the fact that there can be a tweet, yeah, and it will have like 50 quote tweets, and when you go, there's only one. That you can only see one. Okay, yeah. Because the rest of them are behind. I just Anyway, so obviously. MOBOs happened last night. You've got all the fashionists of it all. People look great. People look good, and yeah, man. I can't bother. I've talked a lot. I can't bother to read the winners for things, but
you got Insta, shut it for.
Yeah. So Central C, I'm on Instagram.
Oh.
So Central C got best male act. Lil Sims got best hip hop act. Ray, what was it? Okay, I don't know what that is.
Why is it on me for anyway?
I just want you to realize how much space above your head there isn't. No, there is, but thank you very much. I'd have to get up again and shift the camera. That's all. It wasn't to do with Lil Sims. That was a coincidence.
Okay.
Shits and Gigs got best media personality. Big up Shits and Gigs. Adejoké got best African music act. K-Trap best drill act. Sorry. It was great. It was fun. Go and check it out. I'm done. Where's the man with the... Oh, gosh. So, yeah, that was wonderful.
There's no way you just pause. That's not you. You might as well give us a little more string on the mobile.
So basically, yeah, they gave Drake and 21 Savage, yeah, because I was going to ignore this. Best international act. There was a whole thing. So last year, it was last year. So last year, with the gospel artists and whatnot, gospel category, they gave it to Maverick City Music, who are an American, international, global. I need them to come here because I need to go to a show.
Right,
but I'm hearing the promotion.
Please.
The promotion,
Yeah, cool.
The promoting fee is wild. But if someone can make that happen, that'd be great. But obviously, so last year they faced a lot of criticism because people were like, the MOBO is meant to be for us. Isn't the B in there stand for British or something? And they're like, the MOBO is meant to be for us. Like, why are you giving international acts that are not even... Essentially, why are you giving international acts that are not paying attention to this platform awards when it could go to homegrown talent kind of thing? But I guess best international act speaks for itself. But 21 Savage and Drake got that. So Drake's having a good week. That's just wonderful. Damien India looked absolutely amazing, man.
Music of black origin.
Oh, okay, so I guess anyone could get then. Okay, well, that's it for me. Let's get to People's Journal.
All right, people, welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. First thing I wanted to mention here, remember, it seems like Labour's been changing their approach to things, right? Remember, I've been speaking about the Shadow Chancellor changing up a few things, and it seems like they've done another U-turn, man. So they're ditching the policy that they were pretty much at the forefront of their new manifesto going forward, and something that they were going to kind of push to the forefront with regards to this election. And this is about spending £28 billion a year on basically a green investment plan. So this official announcement will be made today. But long story short, sources are basically saying that the party's green prosperity plan, which includes creating a publicly owned green power company, right? It's not being dropped altogether, but they're not going to be committing to that long-term £28 billion a year for this whole green energy thing. So remember, obviously, they've criticised other parties about not doing enough for, just clean energy and things of that nature. And now it seems like they're U-turning it. And one of the reasons they're saying is because they believe that, especially given the current climate, they need to be putting more money into the economy, so to speak, and getting everyone back to a certain level of quality of life, to kind of avert this whole cost of living crisis, rather than putting all that money into green energy and things like that. Next thing I wanted to mention quickly is Pret. You guys shopping Pret?
Occasionally, actually.
Have you seen the veggie Pret? There's actually a
I
store.
thought you
that
meant
says
Pret,
veg-
the coffee shop.
Yeah. There's one that just says veggie Pret.
What is that on there?
There's vegetarian food in there, isn't it?
Why isn't that a coffee shop?
No, they sell food as well.
The sandwiches.
Yeah.
But no one wants a veggie sandwich. You can put that with the normal sandwiches. Doesn't deserve its own shop.
Well, the people who thought it did. Well, long story short, they decided what you decided.
They're rich over there,
And
boy.
they've changed that basically. So they've got 3 final veggie Pret stores, right, in London and in Manchester. And they're going to be switching to normal Prets by the end of this month, innit? So that idea was just to roll out something. And I think they wanted to encourage other people to kind of switch to a more vegetarian route as well. You know what I mean? Think about the planet, you know what I'm saying? Because you meat eaters out here just don't care about nobody, right? So this is what they're pretty much saying. And they first launched it, by the way, 8 years ago. So 8 years, can you imagine? 8 years ago. But there wasn't many. There was only a handful of them, I guess. So this is why, they've pretty much switched it up. And also what the director of Pret said that pretty much every Pret is a veggie Pret shop anyway. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be vegetarian options in there. I believe they said 1/3 of all of the stuff that they sell is vegetarian friendly anyway. Next thing I wanted to mention is, apparently, according to a pensions industry body, a single person will now need £31,300 a year for a moderate income in retirement. Are you hearing this, yeah? £31,300 a year for a moderate income. So the rising cost of living and expectation, obviously, to offer financial support to grandchildren, because obviously, people kind of expect that you've got less outgoings when you're a grandparent. And to be fair, it's almost like a cultural thing, isn't it? Where the grandparent obviously kind of sponsors like their grandchildren, helps with certain things here and there. And basically, when you factor in all of that in 2024, what they're pretty much saying is, to have a moderate income in retirement stage, that's how much money you're going to need a year. To have a minimum level sort of retirement, a single person will need £14,400 a year. And to have a comfortable retirement, you'll need £43,100 a year. Just want to mention some of the figures for couples. So for couples, they require a joint £22,400 at a minimum level. To have a moderate level retirement, you'll need £43,100. So that's basically what a single person will need for a comfortable retirement. And then to be on the comfortable end of things in retirement, you'll need £59,000 a year as a couple. Next thing I wanted to mention also is for the people that watch Disney and care about Taylor Swift, like Disney basically are going to be investing in a lot of stuff to do with Taylor Swift now. So what they're saying is they're going to be including an exclusive version of one of her tours. So her Eras Tour concert or something like that, that's going to be on Disney Plus now. They're also going to be investing £1.5 billion in Epic Games. So, they're the people that made Fortnite and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, it looks like Disney's trying to, like just try and bring more other things that's more engaging for the average person now, especially when you're they've already rolled out the increases to their different plans and stuff. So, yeah, they've just been under a lot of pressure to kind of shake up the business and get people committing to the more expensive plans, which is $10.99 for the overall package, and I believe the lowest one is $4.99 or $7.99 as well. Last thing I wanted to mention is apparently, where is it? where is he? You know the energy giant Equinor? Basically, the boss of that particular company is basically saying that countries need to secure supplies of oil and gas locally, basically. This is obviously just in response to the whole situation of the Ukraine and Russia invasion. Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And basically how, because of all of that, because we totally relied on everything that was going on in that particular region, it kind of messed up, it definitely disrupted and increased the prices of, you know what I mean, just basics, you know what I'm saying, especially like the gas and oil. And basically he's just been pushing that narrative that, look, governments need to recognize that this sort of thing can happen anytime, especially now when you're considering what's happening in the Middle East as well. So yeah, long story short, they're basically saying, people need to like focus on making energy sources much more locally, basically. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the People's Journal, man. Not much today.
Thank you. Let's get into our interview. Okay, guys, we are talking about skin. It's my favorite thing to talk about. We're talking about skin today, and we have a lovely special guest. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Hey everyone, my name is Yaw Okyere. I like to pronounce it the proper way. I think I've been a lot of my Ghanaian friends and family have given me a lot of stick for pronouncing it the
white way.
The white way.
Western way. So what is? I'm trying to think because your name is very clear.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think how could you possibly have pronounced that?
If you're Ghanaian, then like you know how to pronounce it, but
Yeah.
if not, it's almost like people pronounce it phonetically in terms of my surname.
Like Yao.
So Yao they say Yo. I don't know how that comes
Not y'all.
And then Okyere is like Okyere, but then like, you know, I've vowed
fair.
to always pronounce my name properly regardless of where I am.
I love that. That's very important, actually.
But yeah, so that's that. But I'm the founder and CEO of Ava Estelle, and essentially what that is, it's a skincare brand predominantly focused on people of color, particularly women. And there was a brand that came about.
No, wait, no. Don't tell me yet.
Don't tell you. Well,
I love the story, so don't tell me
that's
yet.
fine. Well, but I mean, Ava Estelle, so the things we do, like, predominantly like problematic skin concerns. So by that I mean, you know, when you think about eczema, hyperpigmentation, psoriasis, you know, anything that's sort of like mildly wrong with your skin that you don't necessarily need a doctor for, Ava Estelle has got you.
Love that. All right. So we're going to get into a lot more about Ava Estelle. But we have a game that we play with all of our lovely guests.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
So
it's general knowledge questions.
terrible.
And this or that. No, don't speak about yourself like that.
No, I know what I'm good at.
So you got to know your strengths, man. So it's like this or that and general knowledge questions.
Fair enough.
We do have a board that we're keeping the score.
Cool.
Yeah, keeping the score.
Let's start from the bottom, yeah?
Yeah, okay. Is that because you're helping your Ghanaian brother?
No.
Well, let's see.
Okay. Well, you ready?
Let's go for it.
Brent, are you...
If you don't know it, just say pass so you can go on to the next question quicker, yeah?
Okay, cool.
All right. You're trying to rack up these points. 3, 2, 1.
Name one country located in the Middle East.
Dubai. Well, UAE actually.
What African countries speak Amharic?
Pass.
Vacation or solo trip?
Vacation.
What Caribbean country gained independence in 1962?
From the UK. Who was the main star of the sitcom Martin?
Pass.
Online or in store?
Online.
Name a unit of temperature besides Celsius.
Fahrenheit.
Who was the first black woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, known for her novel Beloved?
Pass.
Behind the scenes or front of stage?
Behind the scenes.
Which African American actor starred in Django Unchained and Ray?
I can see his face. Pass.
Castro. Oh crap! I missed it. Castro was the leader of what country? You didn't even try. I'll be honest with you. You didn't.
Like I said, I know my strengths.
No.
Ask me anything business related. I get 10 out of 10.
Goodness me. I was rooting for you.
You already got,
The
you got,
Martin
you got
Lawrence
UAE,
one. The
you got
Martin,
UAE.
the sitcom one.
Mm-hmm.
That's Martin Lawrence.
I barely watch movies.
No, it's a sitcom.
Like anything. Like,
Really?
on TV. Yeah.
To be fair, that is just one of my favorite sports. Though.
So you got two.
Yeah, 2 right.
Fahrenheit.
Oh, Fahrenheit, yeah.
See, like
And
anything like
Lebanese.
that's like science or business
Oh, yeah,
related.
yeah, okay, fair.
I'll get it. So yeah, I know my strengths.
That's fair. That is fair. That is fair. But how are you there anyway?
No, I'm very well. Although very tired, but obviously I say that to everyone. But also when I say that, I also speak from a place of privilege. I was like, I mean, it's only 6 weeks in the year so far. I feel like I've done, I don't know, 60 weeks already.
Are you a scientist?
Sorry,
Are you a scientist?
am I a scientist? By education, yes.
Sick.
So, like, because obviously when people got like skincare products and stuff like that, there's always like the formula that goes into it and stuff like that. And obviously, if it's helping improve people's condition, so I've always wondered like, is it something like a formula that's been created, like, or idea that you've invested in, or are you the creator of the formula that's actually helping?
So
like,
I actually formulated it as well. So like all of our products today, I've literally formulated all of them. But then I say that because
so you created like the cure basically, like you.
Well, it's not. The active ingredients are all out there somewhere, right? It's just about just like putting them together and just because, well, so the way you look at a lot of skincare, a lot of cosmetics, there's really nothing that's actually new or novel, right? So it's just about understanding what ingredients or what active ingredients or like together we put them together to be able to get the results and the outcome that you want. The people actually creating like really, really novel stuff, there's like really far and few in between, and those are like billion-dollar companies that are investing hundreds of millions into coming up with like new active ingredients. But apart from that, a lot of active ingredients are already out there. It's just about figuring out what you want and figuring out, what you can formulate together to then get your end result, essentially.
Okay.
All right. Can you tell us the story? Because I'm a lover girl, right? So let us know, please, the story of how it is that you did come up with Ava Estelle.
So yeah, no pressure on the guys, and in terms
No
of
pressure.
Excuse me. In terms of what
You are a married man. I need married people to stop getting in the chat. Like, please.
I mean,
We're press resistant in here.
Press resistant.
So yeah, I mean, this date back to I believe 2016, right? So at the time, I was actually working for another brand, sort of one of our startups, and what we're doing is trying to formulate healthier alternatives to energy drinks and stuff like that. So that's where I was working. Then I met, my wife Esther. So obviously,
She's even my namesake. Look at that.
I wasn't married to her.
Big up her.
When I met her, but I mean, so just throughout dating, I noticed something about her. And it was the fact that anytime we would go out or anything like that, she would always sort of like wear long sleeve blouses or wouldn't want to take over a jacket, etc. And just through conversations, I got to understand that it was because she had some marks and hyperpigmentation on her arm from like eczema scars and stuff like that. Okay. That really made her feel a little bit insecure.
Oh, babe.
And sometimes people will say, well, just like a few words of encouragement is all you need and all of that stuff. But for some people, I mean, that...
I want a cure.
Exactly, right? But also at the same time, she didn't want to use anything that was chemical based because in her head, anything that's chemical based is going to bleach her skin and all that stuff. And obviously that's a big no-no. So I thought, actually I can probably just formulate something for you, right? And that was literally all it was. And I said to her, listen, like, if I can create something for you that, clears up your skin, all that stuff is all natural. You don't have to worry about bleaching your skin or chemicals. Do I get another date?
That's why girls usually got to take note. This is why you can't be dating waste man and you need to be dating people that can bring something. Imagine you went on a date and you had a man say, you know what?
I got you.
I've got you. You say your skin.
Gosh.
Dexter's laboratory thing. I'm gonna go to my lab. I'm gonna cook up something for you.
Could
you imagine?
That was only prerequisite. So and then
flipping lit.
I'm pretty sure.
Doesn't have to work,
Sorry?
The product doesn't have to work for me. The fact that you were this, you actually fought to do this.
But also, I mean, to the benefit of, it's like that was my sport really. So that's what I do day to day. Right, so right.
She could have gone out with the King of La Roche-Posay. He might not have suggested that.
Fair enough.
Credits where credits are due.
But yeah, so did it. I'm pretty sure she didn't even believe it was gonna work or whatever like that. She probably thought I was just chatting BS.
What kind of sticky this is you? I never heard this before.
So a month later, I bring this formulation to her. She used it, and like within 2-3 weeks, literally her skin's cleared up. It's like, what did you do? I was like, oh no, I told you I'm gonna create something. But anyway, that was it, right? It was never supposed to be a business because I was involved in other businesses.
Did you get the second date?
Well, fast forward 7 years now, we're married with 2 kids. So
Look at God. Beautiful scenes. Beautiful scenes.
So yeah, so that's what happened literally, and then that was the end of it. It was literally supposed to be for her. But then fast forward to 2020 during COVID, and obviously most of us were all being paid 80% of our wages to sit at home, and then being a little bit of entrepreneur, I just started getting a little bit of itchy feet. It's like, well, I need to do something, right? So I went back into my notes of like 100 different ideas, and this is the one I landed back on, and was predominantly because also like I could formulate it and still get all the safety approvals and all the tests done because a lot of labs were still opened. So I decided to go ahead with that, and we launched literally towards the back end of COVID. I think it was like October 2020, and everything literally just went nuts from there on. And 2 weeks in, literally just like resigned to everything else I was doing, threw all the eggs into this basket, and 3.5 years, over $20 million in revenue. Literally crazy.
Good time, girl.
I was gonna say because you said this is kind of that it was your line of work when you created it for your girlfriend or your wife. What were you doing?
So at the time, I was formulating and being the operational manager for another brand.
Okay.
But what we were doing there was we were creating, again, healthy alternatives to energy drinks, basically.
Okay.
So I've always been in the business of just like consumer goods and like formulation. You know, I studied chemical engineering at uni, so like, I understood all the sciences behind it and how to formulate, and then also be an entrepreneur at the same time. You know, trying to, I think I've been in business for the last 10 years prior to this. Obviously, nothing's really ever worked to this level. Yeah. So I believe there's almost like I was very uniquely positioned to do this particular business because one, I understood the science. I'd been in business, and marketing and everything like that for the last 10 years. Yeah. I'd met Esther, and then she had the skin concern. So just putting all those different things together is almost like, I had the very key unique skills across everything to be able to do this particular business.
All lines up.
All lined up for it to work the way it's pretty much turned out to be, essentially.
So
cool.
Meeting this woman actually made your entrepreneurial journey pop.
Pretty much.
Without this woman, you'd like, still be languishing.
Ask her, she'll tell you. Like, all my senses must have happened.
I like that.
Literally.
Didn't the Bible tell you, you find a wife?
That's it. And I mean, like, literally, that's what happened for me. That's what literally, really like, prior to her, it was like, I've been in business before, but nothing really like.
Look at that.
Literally.
No, that's beautiful, man. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. I was going to say, what did you study at uni as well?
Chemical engineering.
I thought you said that. Yeah.
Isn't that what you studied?
Yeah. No.
Oh, biomedical engineering.
Yeah.
All right, cool. My bad.
That's so cool.
Ross, I think that was because, again, like, I was dyslexic and I never knew until I got to uni, right? So throughout, I am still dyslexic, right? So throughout all my like upbringing, I never really, I was never good at that English and writing and all that stuff, but now I pretty much do that for a living, right? Like, literally, I'm sat on emails, very, very concise, all that stuff. So then that led me down because I just thought I was just better at maths and science. So literally just like went down that route. Like that's what I'm good at. I'm just gonna focus on that, not knowing it was just because all the stuff. Then I got to uni. I had to write some essays, and they were like, "You're good at this. Like, just go and do a dyslexia test." And then he came back like, I'm just like terribly dyslexic.
Who suggested that?
One of my personal tutors at uni.
Okay.
Yeah. So literally, like, I got there, and like after 1 year, they'll like do a test. So literally, just I figured out when I got to uni. But then also, I mean, having African parents, all these things.
They just hear you, God forbid. Ma'am, the test result came back. But then, so do they make concessions for that? Moving forward? Yeah,
mine did, because I can't remember.
Where did you go to?
Warwick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so again, it's like in Coventry, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Lovely place though. I think mine paid for it. I can't remember. I mean, this was a while ago. But then after that, like, you get like a free laptop and all these like, you get like extra 20%. I mean, time in during exams and all that stuff. So it comes with its perks.
So the difference, obviously, making a product for a woman you're trying to impress.
Yeah.
That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
You did that. Difference between making a product for a woman you're trying to impress and then making it to sell. How different is that? Because obviously I would imagine you were a bit nervous giving it to her in terms of it's her skin, I hope it works, blah, blah. But then when you're going to mass produce now, like what was the difference with that?
So for me personally, I don't necessarily think in terms of like how it felt, because again, like I've been in business for like last 10 years, right? So just like trying new ideas was never anything that was new to me, right? So I thought, you know what, let's just put it out there and see what happens. And also bear in mind, there was never the intention to build it into like a massive business. It was literally supposed to just be like a COVID side hustle. Right. So for me, all it was is that, I thought, okay, cool, you struggle with this. It seems like, a few people around you and, some of my, sisters and whatever probably need this as well. So even before we started out, I was also like applying all the principles that I've learned, throughout my journey in terms of like, build like a wait list and all that stuff. So we did, I think we had about 500 people wait list before we launched, because I started speaking about it before. And even before we launched, I had given it to like 20 friends and families to try out to see how it works for them, and they came back with like raving results. So I wasn't necessarily concerned about how it was going to work for people, and we had done all our safety tests and all that stuff. So it was more of a thing where can I just keep myself occupied during COVID, basically, when we all started at home. And so then that happened literally, launches the wait list. The first week or two was all okay, and then like on week 3, everything just like blew up.
Is there something that happened that made it blow up?
Yeah, so I did a post in Shade Bar.
Okay.
Literally.
And that's what made it blow up?
Yeah, literally. So one of my mates had done it before. So I think prior to that, a lot of these blog pages, I think the only people that ran ads on there were like, like music videos and stuff like that. So no one had really used it for any business outside of that. Mm-hmm. And then also like thinking about it, so one of my mates as well that runs another product, another brand, had tried it the week before and it literally just blew up for her. I was like, listen, I'm gonna do the same thing like the following week. Yeah. But then also when you think about it, our audience are all people that are all congregating around these pages anyway, which means that it makes sense to try, although it's something different to what they're normally used to. And also during COVID, everyone's on their phones, everyone's got disposable money, no one has anywhere to spend their money. So literally, just like we did it. It was a few before and after pictures in terms of like, this is what the person person had. Here was the skin before. Here was the after, and the story about how the brand started. And I think like that day, and then I believe that day. So I think prior to that, we were making like maybe like 1K a week or something like that. Yeah. For like first 2 weeks, and on that day, I remember it very clearly. It was a Saturday actually. That day made like 10K in sales, and I was like, holy crap, there's something here. Right. So then from that day onwards, literally just like dropped everything, just focused, went in all on this, and then literally just blew up. Yeah.
When it blew up the way it did.
Everyone aware on that is.
When it blew up the way it did you have enough products to meet those
No.
I was just about to ask that. Yeah.
No.
How did you go about that?
So also one of the benefit for me is because I've been in this game for a long time, I knew when to almost like make the most of something that's happening, the demand. Okay. So the way we actually did the business in the beginning, and we actually got it to fund itself, was that we almost run it on like a pre-order basis, right? So essentially, typically, like, a lot of people, when you buy something, you want it shipped straight away, etc. But what we did a little bit of a reverse, whereby we would tell our customers on our website, we just be like, listen, we're a new company, give us like 7 days to process the order and all that stuff. So a lot of people were more like chilled out and understanding. But what was really happening was we were making the sale, getting the money first, and then using the money to run production, and then get the product out to people. Okay. So we didn't actually have to have the products ready. And now it's very, very different. Now everyone orders and they want it out tomorrow, right? Yeah. But at the time was literally, I think we run on Shopify as well, which is like the online platform, our back end. And then normally whatever sale you make, you get paid out in 3 days' time.
Okay.
Right. So for example, and then we were then also focused a lot of our marketing on the weekend. So we would do a lot of marketing on the weekend. By Wednesday, we get paid out. On that same day, we would put out an order for all our raw materials to arrive Thursday, Friday. Throughout the whole of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, literally just like run production back to back. And then on a Monday, Royal will come and pick it up, essentially. Okay. So
these are working hard in that house, right?
That's literally what was happening. It was manic, literally.
But was it just you and your wife making everything
that is literally like all my siblings, everyone, my mom, my dad.
Not the kids. Passing the job.
Everyone, literally.
That's lit.
Like, cause like, and also I remember it so well. Even like the day we posted on Shade Barrow, like I think they even posted it 2 hours earlier than the dinner. I wasn't even at home. I think I'd taken Esther to a driving test, right?
Okay.
So I was just sat in the car waiting for her, and all of a sudden, obviously, I've already sent a thing. I think I asked them to post at 12 p.m. and then they posted at 10 a.m. Right? I'm just sat in the car, I'm just seeing my phone pop off, like, what the hell is going on, right? I open my phone, the Shade Barrow post has gone out, and then my phone is just pinging. And literally like get on the phone to my brothers, like, listen, I need you all at my house tomorrow.
Right now.
This is going down. Come to the warehouse.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I think it was around about 300 orders. I think at the time the most we had got in a day was like 20 orders, right?
Oh wow.
So I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, that's
That's
a lot.
So yeah, we just figured it out. So instead of stopping it, I'm just like, listen, let the orders come in.
Yeah, just keep going.
We will figure it out.
Because sometimes with businesses, all you have to do is just explain to the customer, you know.
Yeah.
Just
literally
let me know that
yeah.
this is being worked on, this is being prepared, whatnot. Throw in a cute little, I don't know, little lollipop in there. All is forgiven, love. All is because I want the product. But it's when like businesses go quiet.
Yeah.
And you can't even remember. Like sometimes you forget you ordered something, and I'm thinking, wait a minute.
It's
I
been
ordered
2
something
weeks,
2 weeks
what's my
ago.
order?
Do you get what I mean? That's when the issue. I feel like you handled that really well in terms of communicating with them.
100%, yeah.
Like, you know, the order was coming and stuff. So did you said warehouse?
Yeah, so we had like a
Warehouse?
little unit, right?
Okay.
Literally. So obviously, because I was there, I'm also been in engineering. Like again, one of the things that worked in my favor is I knew how to set up like so there's something called like the GMP, good manufacturing process, and whenever you set up a production facility, it has to meet that requirements, right?
Okay.
So just knowing that, just like you can set up in any space as long as like it meets those requirements to be able to then go out and all that stuff. So I set up like a little space, literally, just be able to just run everything from there.
And what does production look like now? Like
Production looks
do
like
you have
now.
a team now?
Now my production team is a group of 15 people, just running just production. Like I think and we've had to then relocate to Kent. Actually, we had to move out of London because like commercial space in London was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It just didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the team of people that literally run production
That's
day in,
amazing.
day out.
But then how do you make sure, obviously you have someone who tests it to make sure it meets standards. Like, but when it's with skincare stuff, how do you know it meets standards? Like if you don't have a period of testing for like a week or so?
So what happens is every batch that you produce, so like you produce stuff in batches, right?
Yeah.
And every batch needs to be labeled. So it's actually a very, very lengthy process. Every batch you need to set one product aside per batch.
Okay.
Right. So just so that when something goes wrong, you have the traceability to trace back to figure out what batch has gone wrong and who those batches have gone
And
out
you
to.
can kind of recall that.
And you can recall that. And then obviously in your production processes, there's like literally checks and balances in place at every single step. Just to make sure, like even certain things, like when you are, when you're measuring out ingredients and stuff like that, there's like a 2-step verification where the person that pours it and measures it is not the person that takes it off and verifies it, right? There's someone else. So that you have all these things in place just to make sure obviously something goes wrong because the last thing you want is
It's skincare, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's deep.
So
That's a lot of research. You did a lot of research.
there's
But
a
then-
lot that go into it.
I was gonna say,
There's
but
a
then
lot
obviously
that
you
go
worked kind of in
Yeah.
manufacturing to be fair, but it's like a lot of work.
There's
A
a
lot
lot
of
of
research,
work.
2-step, and whatnot.
Yeah.
You mentioned when something goes wrong. Is it inevitable that something every now and again will just go wrong?
I mean, it's happened to us a couple of times. Like every now and then, because I mean, again, you're working with people, right? Every now and then, something's supposed to go wrong. There's a time you have to get rid of like 3 batches.
Oh,
like,
wow.
You just when it happens, you just have to take the L, basically.
What was that down to?
Human error, unfortunately.
And did you fire them and get some Polish workers?
No, we didn't fire the person, but obviously they get a very stern warning. Unfortunately, but when it happens, because I mean, like, you can't have that happen continuously all the time. Especially if they know what they're supposed to be doing, and negligence means they've done something wrong, right? So you just have to be able to make sure that you put certain things in place.
You mentioned prior to this company, you've been an entrepreneur pretty much for 10 years.
Yeah.
Where did that spirit come from? I want us to go like back home.
So like in everything, like in my case, I believe there's a sponsor, right? When I say someone that literally just like holds your hand to just like, put you on something, right? And that was one of my cousins actually. So actually now let's go back even before that, right? So I think for me, I've always had the drive to want to do well financially. And that's because my mom moved from Ghana to the UK when I was about 10, and then we joined her. So me and my brother. So there's 4 of us in terms of siblings, right? So me and my brother joined her when I was 12.
Okay.
Right. And I remember so well, I think for the first 2 years, we literally shared a room like this size with my mum, my brother, and myself, right? And
I thought you were going to say with just your brother. I was thinking, look at this privileged guy.
No.
This is a big room. But
She used to rent a room in someone's house.
Oh, really?
Right.
Okay.
So like really just shared a room, and then we would take turns in terms of who sleeps on the floor when, right? So like, my brother would share the bed with her, and then like, the next day we will swap. So I'd seen it, but I also seen the amount of hard work that she put in, like, and at the time she was a nurse, right? So she'll be working. I think at the time it was like 12-hour shifts each. There were certain days where
the same babes. That's why they're striking.
Yeah, like there were certain times where she would do like 2 12-hour shifts, like literally like 24
That's
hours, like
mad.
back to back, right? Just seeing that level of hard work.
A big up auntie, man.
Right. And I just put it into it. And then within like 2 or 3 years, she had bought a house, right? So like we just moved out for like just taking us out of that situation. I was like, wait.
Women in business.
Like, if she can do that, there's no reason why
You can't.
with my privilege and going to school and all that stuff, I shouldn't be able to level up, right? So I think that's sort of like that mindset that's in terms of like where it stems from. But obviously, looking back to Ghana, I think like we were quite privileged anyway. Like my dad had quite a good job, but like, that money when it translates into pounds doesn't really reach. So just like seeing that when we got to the UK is what really sort of like ticked it for me. And then fast forward to when I got to about 16, I really didn't know anything about business or entrepreneurship whatsoever. It was more so like what career can I do, right, to try and make as much money as possible? And obviously you speak to your parents, and she was like, yeah, go and be a doctor, because it was
engineer,
like,
lawyer,
she works in the hospital. It was like, yeah, go and be engineer, doctor, all that stuff. I was like, cool, yeah, fine, all right, I'll do that. So I was actually on the way. I'd done everything I needed to do. I was a first aider. I'd done all that stuff. Got to 6th form on my route to go into medical school. And then I think when I got to A-levels, I think it was 16, 17, one of my cousins used to import some stuff from China, right? And he was like, oh, by the way, just like take this and just like sell it online or something. I think it was hair straighteners at the time.
Okay.
So he used to import a whole bunch of goods, but he gave me hair straighteners. It was like, yeah, sell it online, I think you can make some money of it. And then he used to sell it to me for £40. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure I can just put it on Amazon or eBay or whatever. And these things were selling for like £100, £120. I was like, what the hell? Why are people buying it from me?
Entrepreneurship entered him.
why are people buying this thing from me for like £100? I'm sure they can buy it for £40 too, right? So that literally just blew my mind. It made no sense. And then it was at that point where I thought, do you know what? I think, this thing can make more money. So then I started going down the rabbit hole. And then it became I discovered this whole tech world of all these like Silicon Valley, like 25-year-old billionaires. I'm like, I can be a billionaire by 25. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And you can imagine the horror on my mum's face when I told her I don't want to do medicine no more.
Family meeting. Everybody sit down.
Like literally, she was like, what do you mean? I've paid all this money to get you prepared, to get you trained, all that stuff. I'm like, Mum,
I'm sorry,
man. So I even had to like cancel all my personal statements back in the day when you used to write personal statements for
Don't they do that anymore?
I'm pretty sure they
Because
still
that
do.
built character.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they
Sorry,
still
they
do.
need to go for the UCAS route, because that built
Like,
character.
UCAS was a big character builder.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so I literally had to change all of that. It's like, well, I'm not going to study medicine no more. What's the next best thing I can do? And because I had always studied maths and science, I thought, let me just go and be an engineer, just for the sake of it, really.
Why do you want to be an engineer for the sake of it? You know,
Well, I had to go to
intelligent
uni
people
because I couldn't tell I'm not going to uni.
Nah,
That would be World War III.
No, you mean back in Ghana. That's a grown-ass man back in Ghana.
So, I had to do something. It's like, yeah, I'll just do this. I just, not for the love of it, but just so that I go to uni and do something, right? And then, picked all my unis. Like, I hadn't even been to Warwick Uni before because it was all last minute because I was changing around all my unis, right?
Your teachers must have been stressed.
Yeah, literally.
I must have been so annoyed.
But then I got there, it was probably like one of the best seniors, like, for me anyway. So
It's one of the best unis in the country, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Warwick is a big boy uni.
But yeah, and then I got there and there was like a massive entrepreneurship society as well. I was like, wow, like this is amazing.
You're calling.
So literally, and then I think there was one guy there that had already taken his company to like Silicon Valley and has like raised like £500,000 whilst he was still at uni. I was like, oh my God, like you are the idol, right? Just seeing all of that, just being around all those people, just literally like compounded. And then I started starting stuff whilst I was at uni as well. So one of the first things I started when I was on uni, I remember very clearly, was called Buy Me Food, right? And what it was, and I like to believe I started Deliveroo before there was any idea.
You know, I knew you were gonna make a link.
Why?
deliver. I just had a feeling when
Buy
you
me
said buy me
food,
food,
of
I
course,
feel like
yeah,
this
yeah.
man's gonna say he started.
Yeah, well, I didn't have the 100 million that they had. But I think that this was like about 2010 or something like that. Delivery started 2011, right? And then the reason why I started it was because at the time was like so Warwick is like in the middle of nowhere, right? So it's like a massive
Sounds it.
field and everyone is on campus.
Okay, yeah.
And so you've got everything you need on campus. You don't have to go anywhere. So like we kind of call it the bubble because when you're there, you actually don't even have to leave. You don't even know what's going on in the real world. So that meant that we only have like 5 places to eat on campus. And the closest restaurant you can get to, you had to jump on a bus to get to Coventry for about half an hour and another half an hour bus journey back. Right. So the only food you could order was either Domino's or Just Eat. And at the time, Just Eat was just like your usual greasy takeaways. So there was no like Nando's or whatever stuff to order. And like those guys didn't even order, didn't even allow for delivery anyway.
Yeah.
So we thought, actually, why don't we just set up a delivery service? So this was me trying to go down the tech route, right? Because like that's all I'm seeing everyone around me trying to do
Tech boys.
Try and do like a delivery service and bring like Nando's and Wagamamas to students on campus.
Yeah.
And I literally just started doing that. And that was working very well actually until Nando's banned us.
Excuse me. Why did Nando's?
So we had gone to the store manager in Coventry. So Coventry was our closest Nando's, just about half an hour away. And at the time they didn't have a platform to allow for deliveries and stuff like that. So you still had to order that if you're going to pick up, right? But that still goes through the same order system that their restaurant had. So when I went to the branch manager, he was like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. We will just cater it for you. But then at the peak of it, like on a Saturday evening, for example, we can call in and put 50 orders through at a time.
Yeah, I'm banning you too.
Right? So that meant that if you came into the restaurant right after we've put in an order,
You're going to wait.
you can be waiting for like an hour.
Yeah.
So then that meant that their reviews and ratings on that particular restaurant kept going down. And then head office was like, what the hell is going on? And then they figured out this was going on. They're like, nah, we're not going to have it. And then literally like, and at the time, I think 80% of all our orders used to go through Nando's.
Really?
Like people just wanted Nando's, right? And they were like, yeah, they called me like, sorry man, we can't do it anymore. I'm like, bro, like at the time we're making like 20 grand a month. Literally just like putting orders through Nando's.
Hypothetically.
And they were like, nah.
We watching.
Ah, that's fine. I paid all my taxes.
That's crazy. Did you do it with a group of friends?
Sorry?
Did you do it with a group of your friends?
No, it's just me. I just had a bunch of drivers.
The spirit entrepreneur. This was just you.
Yeah, literally, because like, so at the time, like, then I learned how to code, made a website. So all it was is that we literally just duplicated the paper menu on the website, and then we would charge an extra £5 for delivery. That was it. So we were making money on the delivery fees.
Yeah.
And then because again we were bringing into campus, we could batch deliver or not, so we weren't doing it per order. So for example, like we will pick like certain spots around you, maybe like I think we had like 5 spots around campus, and then you pick where you want it delivered, but then you had to order an hour before. Okay. So then that meant that we could literally just like deliver 20 orders together. Literally, but then everyone's being charged £5 each.
What a smart man.
Right, so
that's smart.
So we do that, but then so like our drivers had 3 drivers, so each one would just do one location and then just batch it together and then just bring it one time. So I literally had like 3-4 part-time drivers at the top of it, and it was a simple website, and then just like some marketing, just like we printed flyers and put it underneath everyone's door.
Now you're definitely destined to be a millionaire. You know, you know when you listen to some people speak, and it's like, yeah, like this. That's so smart.
Yeah, so that's how it all started. My background. So yeah, I've been at it for a long time.
You have. You've been. No wonder you're tired. Okay. You're tired since uni.
Yeah, I've been at it for a long time. So even that, like, I think I even almost failed my first year uni.
Okay, you're doing delivery driver.
Literally.
Your mum couldn't hear that. Your mum could not hear that.
Literally. But then, like, luckily for me, I think that the pass mark for first year was like 40%, and I got 42.
Wow!
Literally just, like,
you got fine.
Literally, like, scraped through, and then my first year didn't count. I was like, oh, thank the Lord.
That's crazy.
And then we got banned. I was like, oh yeah, might as well just focus on uni now. Just imagine get out of here.
I mean, you're saving the money. So wow, that's so cool though.
That's sick, man.
Yeah, so that's how I started. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, have you got plans to take Ava Estelle back home?
Yes, but then the market looks a little bit different, right? Okay. So when you look at it in terms of particularly around price points.
Okay.
So when you look at price points across obviously UK, US, and then Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, and all that stuff. the price points don't work as it is at the moment.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like when you take something like cost £20 here, convert it to cities or naira or whatever, it's just mad, right? Not a lot of people will be able to afford it. But we also need to be careful that we don't cannibalize ourselves, because if we then take the same brand over there and then reduce price so that it works for the locals, what's going to happen is people are just going to import from there back here, and then we end up just shooting ourselves in the foot in the West as well. So it's about just thinking about what strategies could potentially work. It might be a thing where, you just create like a sister brand, it does the same thing, but, or, these little different things. So we have to think about it carefully in terms of like how to really position that for it to work without necessarily just like shooting ourselves in the foot, essentially. So that's a difficulty.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but that's in your, I guess, your 5-year, 10-year plan?
Sooner, possibly, but then again, like, the market is also a little bit different in terms of like, there's not really, at the moment, we're still 100% D2C, as in like we sell directly from ourselves to the customers, right? In that market, will have to look like retail, because there isn't really like a proper infrastructure around last mile delivery service to be able to really do online. So then it means that you need to be in stores and in shops and, in all these market sellers, and just thinking about how to really work that logistics is a whole different business, right? It's a whole different ball game, and just really figuring that out.
We do pop-ups.
Yeah.
In the meantime, yeah.
Or like, one-off pop-ups, we can always go and do that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that we are full in the market, essentially.
What was uni life like, seen as you were
Balling.
raking in 20K a month? Were you seen as a playboy? Were you seen as a mark? What
No,
was
like,
it?
I mean, to be honest,
Listen to Mark.
I think one thing about me, I know that I've never really necessarily. No, one thing I don't like about me is that I've never necessarily been the saver. More so, I've been. My mindset's always been I can always earn more, right?
But you're generous, because obviously Ghanaian men don't have a great PR. I'll be honest with you. But generosity.
Hopefully, we're trying to survive. Revive that. But yeah, a lot of that went to like investments and like trying out different businesses. Probably by the time I was done with it, I've probably tried another startup that probably like sucked up all the money anyway. So I'm like, well, that's gone. Let's start again. Let's figure out what's next.
So you really were a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
The type of stuff that you actually tried. Run through the
rest of the ideas. So
the failures and whatnot.
So after uni, I tried to bring that. So by the time I was done with uni, delivery was in the market for about another 2-3 years, right? So I thought actually one thing they don't do very well is I wanted to bring out that same concept that we had in a concentrated space, whereby work in terms of like the unit economics and all that stuff, where we can deliver multiple goods to people in one location. So we thought actually let's bring that concept to like places like Canary Wharf, where people can bulk order and multiple delivery. We tried it for about a year or so, it didn't work. So that flopped. But also I had a mentor that wanted to go into, so her business was in care homes, so she will buy care homes and turn them around, like failing care homes, and turn them around and get them working properly. And she wanted to diversify what she does in business, and she wanted, at the time, it's like these protein bars were really coming into play, and she wanted to do something like that. So she literally I funded the idea. I went to run it for about a year, and then I left there, and then I joined this drinks brand I was with before for about another 2 or 3 years. Yeah. But then in between that, I had learning like digital marketing, have like an agency, and run all these bits and bobs around. So yeah, I've literally been everywhere from tech to, and then that's what actually got me into FMCG in terms of like fast moving consumer goods. Yeah. When she wanted to do that, so literally built a warehouse that could produce like 4,000 units a day, formulated that, all that bars and stuff like that. But then I left because I didn't quite agree with the way she wanted to do it, because her experience was, right, let's put a lot of money in something and then get it up and running, which is fine in her care home business. But what I was learning in tech is like everything needs to be like minimum viable product, which just means I need to be able to figure it out and test it out and make sure people like it before you put a lot of money into it. And then she was like, well, I'm going to put in 150 grand, let's build this, let's build it. I was like, nah, I'm not sure it's supposed to work like that. And it's like, what do you know? You're just coming up, right? I was like, do you know what? We're going to keep butting heads. Yeah. And then, yeah.
So during all these particular stints looking to, find that one, were you working?
Yeah, so I've always been consulting, like just doing work on the side for other businesses. So whether it be either like, so throughout all this as well, just don't forget I'm building up a lot of skills, right? So all these skills are stacking up. So when it comes to like digital marketing, like web development and all of that stuff, like I learned how to develop websites when I was at uni because I needed to do it for buying me food.
Okay.
Right? So then it's almost like one of my mates were trying to charge me $3,000 to create our first website. I'm like, mate, I'm gonna do it myself. I literally spend two months.
Not Reese Z.
Sorry.
What?
What did you say?
Nothing.
So I learned it myself, literally just done it, and then from then on, just like you acquire the skill. Then you need to market, you need to learn like how to run Facebook ads, Google ads, you learn how to do it, and now you got the skill, and then these are the skills that then other startups or businesses are after. So you can literally like contract, and a lot of the times I know how long it takes me to do the work, but then I'm charging a full day rate, right? While I was doing my other stuff on the side.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And how was your dating life during this 10-year period?
Oh boy, I think my wife is listening. So.
Oh, is she?
Morning, Queen.
Morning, Queen. Cool. It's the past, man. Come on.
I mean, well, I don't think it will be any different to your average guy, to be honest.
Let's see.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
going through trying to figure out, you know, who is who and what's going to work and what's not going to work.
That's the business question. Who's who? What's what?
You're not press resistant. Never mind.
Oh, dear. I was going to say that with the skin, did you Google the skincare industry? Did you look into, did you research the skincare industry? Did you see there's any products out there or anything like that?
The one thing I knew was, also particularly from like people's experience and what they've said, was that they didn't really have products that was essentially made for them.
Okay.
Right, particularly when it comes to like people of color, black people, Asian people,
Yeah.
if you have some form of melanin in your skin, people always felt like there wasn't a product that can go to, because when you look at it, obviously I looked into this as well, it's almost like a lot of formulations is done based on white skin.
Yep.
So then therefore you don't really trust whether something's going to work for you or not. So for me, that was one of the key reasons why we wanted to really niche down in order to focus on this segment, because I think we wanted people to know that, one, we understand that, you know, the thought process, even if some, you know, a big brand say this is for you, they've probably formulated it with not your skin in mind, right?
Okay, yeah.
So we really wanted to niche down and be known for this group of people, because we are formulating with our own skin in mind first. We're trying out on black skin, Asian skin, just to make sure that it works for us first before anybody else. And actually what we discovered is if it works for us, it actually works 10 times better for anybody else.
Okay.
So yeah, we looked into that, did all that research, saw that gap in the market as well, which sort of like, you know, informed me to be able to then double down and do what we do. But I mean, now there will be other brands out there, but I think we're probably one of definitely the biggest in the UK and in this market, probably one of the biggest in the US as well. A lot of our business actually, most of our business actually is in the US actually.
Okay.
So yeah, we about 70% of our trade are all to the US.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I never even know what products it is that you have that you formulated. What was the first product you ever formulated, and then what are the ones you have? All the ones you have.
So now we have 14 SKUs. It started with just 2. So the first one is the Magic Cream. So we call them the Magics because that's the one, you know, that's supposed to do all the magic, right? I don't know, cliche.
That's when I got you the marriage, yes.
And then like it's paired with the activating body scrub,
Okay.
which essentially is not necessarily, I mean, yeah, it has the benefits of exfoliating, but it's supposed to actually be paired with the Magic Cream. So there's actually science behind it and the reason why those ingredients are in there. So it's actually because it helps improve blood circulation into the area that you're trying to treat. So if you've exfoliated and you have more blood circulating it, once you put the Magic Cream on it, then it's going to work a lot better and a lot faster, right? So that's actually the science behind it.
Okay.
But people think it's just for exfoliating. Nah, actually, it's
I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't do that.
yeah.
Sometimes when I do something, it pairs, I'm like, but I bet it does. So yeah, that actually makes sense now, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the first that we started with, and then now we have a whole range. So we have a whole body range. So the Magics, we got the winter body cream, which is basically like a way better version of whatever cocoa butter that you used to use growing up. You guys should try it. You absolutely love.
Is
if
it?
you haven't tried it,
You
actually,
walked in here with
I was gonna say, did you come in here with
or the arm swinging?
Huh?
He's
You
bringing
walking empty arms swinging?
he's bringing something out from his pocket.
In your small pocket?
I've always got one in my pocket.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were coming here with gift bags. Not a pocket.
My team will probably
Is it?
probably send something.
Yeah.
Well, probably.
My team will probably send
I
some.
would speak to your people.
But yeah, this is one of my favorites. Like, listen, I was leaving home. I was like, listen, let me just grab this with me because I don't know what they've sent.
Can you
Right?
imagine? Can you imagine?
No, in my team, they'll probably send you that. Some.
Yeah. They're always on job.
Is it the last time we're going to hear of
We
this,
heard
of this
Kevin
team?
Hart say the same thing.
The team has got this. they've got it. Probably like next episode, probably see Ava still ever.
Next episode tomorrow morning. Okay. So
what probably make it happen.
Is there? Have you got products for people like me?
Of course.
You got melanin, you mug. What do you mean people like you? Who are you?
But then that's
No,
also,
because a lot of the products. Sorry, a lot of the
question,
products that I saw, obviously, and I think they're amazing. Is helping people with bad skin and blemishes, isn't it? I'm saying, what about the people with perfect skin?
Yeah, you stay like literally every day, just maintain your skin.
Yeah, that's what I need. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
That's cool. Then, like, you also be surprised, right? A lot of customers.
Why are you laughing, bro?
Because
This is what
it's
you
a fair
say.
question.
It's a genuine question.
If I'm already perfect, why do we need it?
To maintain?
To maintain it.
Yeah, come on.
I didn't even figure. I thought he was talking about his skin color.
No.
But also, people do ask,
That's
right?
what, that's honestly what I thought. That's what I was like. You got melanin in you. Like, what are you talking about? That's why I looked at you like. I was thinking, excuse me, what kind of question is that?
But I mean,
Okay.
like, people do ask, like, we see all sorts of questions, right? And
Yeah.
I think, like, you also have to almost, like, remove yourself because sometimes the customers don't know because, like, this is the problem where we've gone for so long with nothing really being made for us. So they don't know what's for them and what's not for them.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes they might see someone of a darker complexion using it and it's working for them. Think, actually, is it going to work for me because I'm a little bit lighter or all that stuff, right? So, I mean, from the customer's perspective, there's always a fair question because they don't know. So it's our job to educate them and just be like, listen, it doesn't matter what shade of cream or caramel or you think you are,
Yeah.
the product's gonna be okay for you.
I was gonna ask as well. Is it for your body? Is it just for the body or is it for the face as well?
So we've got a face set and we've got a body range as well.
Okay, and the body one, the face one. Would you have like a Magic's version of the face or
Yes.
okay?
Yeah. So to be honest, initially when we created the Magic was actually formulated so that it will work on your face as well. But once you start, people start asking for different things. So we now have the face version, which we call the night cream, which you use before you go to bed, which is water based. That pretty much does the same thing as the Magic Splash, just for your face. Basically, if you have any blemishes, clear it up.
I'm gonna try that one.
Yeah.
Okay, because I did think sometimes when there's skincare stuff and you can use it for your body and your face, I'm like,
Not
what's
sure.
the grease ratio? Because I don't want my, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want like a greasy
Greasy face.
skin
No, that
or
makes
like
sense. Yeah.
blocked pores and stuff like that. So it's like I'm always very worried. I'm like,
Yeah.
if it's good enough for my body, how is it going to be good enough for my face? Because it's different kind of skin.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And obviously,
Do you mean-
sometimes people have oily skin, dry skin, all
This
that
is the
stuff.
thing
So
as
you
well,
have to figure out, what where you are on that.
And we
spectrum.
say for the Magic stuff, there's no have you like obviously say your wife was worried about using products that's going to bleach her skin.
Yeah.
Is that something that you've like put to a minimal, or is that you've just totally eradicated that there's no bleaching of the skin?
No, so there's no
whatsoever?
chemicals, there's no bleach in that. What we do is it literally restores your skin back to what your complexion is supposed to be.
Okay.
In terms of like what's in it, in terms of our active ingredients and the science behind it. So like knowing from the community we come from, like skin bleaching is a big taboo, big.
I was thinking this might be what gets the answers to stop, man.
Yeah, big no. So for us.
That is gonna give you the Jamaican sun kiss.
Yes.
Whoa!
Yes.
Whoa!
So
Yes.
whoa,
Paladins.
run that.
Well, I mean, I can't promise I'm going to bring the sun to the UK, but
It's restored my natural skin color. What England took from me.
That's so funny.
but yeah, I mean, a lot of times is for like hyperpigmentation that is able to target like all these dark spots without making it lighter, basically. So like you can, when you look at a lot of our before and afters, you can look at the color of the skin around the problem area on the before, and you see that it's still the same on the after, but then like the problem areas have also like like evened out.
I hear you. Do you have like? Do you have your products in stores like Superdrugs and Boots and whatever? And would you like to if you don't at the moment?
At some point, it depends, right?
Okay.
So at the moment, we don't do any retail, apart from unless we're doing our own pop-up stores and stuff like that. So everything is still 100% online.
Yeah.
But then at the point where it makes sense, then we will consider it. Because again, like the world of retail is a whole different business, right? In terms of like, selling direct to customers. So, it works differently in terms of like your production. Because for example, like Boots can come and just like give us 100,000 units tomorrow. And because we've set it up that we run our own production, we don't use a third party producer, right? We might not even be able to fulfill that, number one. Number two, it depends on what margins that they want to give us, right?
Okay,
So then they
yeah.
might say on that unit, we want to take 60% margin. Right, for me, that ain't gonna work.
Because I've been getting 100% of my website.
Yeah. So if my customers are coming to me anyway,
why
and
would
by
I?
me then funding them through Boots or whatever it is, I mean, again, there are things to consider.
Yeah.
Is a never say never, but it just has to make sense, basically. Yeah.
That's fair. What advice would you give anyone that wanted to kind of go into the skincare industry, I guess, to kind of create products and stuff like that?
So for me, I think the main reason why I think this is working because we're really solving the real problem, and there's a very clear distinction in terms of like what we're doing and why we're doing it and the problems we're solving. I see a lot of the times people trying to go into it with just another nice to have. And I think like it's really, really difficult to shift a nice to have to displace someone from what they're already using and what they're already doing. Yeah. So for example, like if you came to me and just be like, oh, I've just created like a natural deodorant for you, I don't really care like that. Yeah. Right. So for me, I consider that's a nice to have, unless it has like a very unique utility that I need. It will be hard to change me away from what I already like and what I already do. Yeah. So just bear in mind, think about, what can I do to create, to solve a problem for someone that they don't really have a solution to, then that makes it easier for you to be able to get into, find customers essentially and just getting there with your customers.
We've got a question from one of our listeners, Black Rob. He says, forget about. If Unilever is it Unilever or Unilever? Unilever, my bad, it's Nigerian to me. If Unilever or P&G come with a bag to acquire, but they want to change the ingredients, are you selling?
That's an interesting question. Do you know what? This question comes from so there's been a lot of backlash around particularly like big black owned American brands.
Who was it? It was a hair one, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's been a few. So there's Mael Organics.
Mael, that's the one thing.
Mael Organics. There's been a few recently, is like honey pot and all that stuff, right? The question is around always maintaining the brand as one black owned and all that stuff to be able to serve us, and I 100% agree with that. But also the problem is that I think a lot of people don't understand from the non-business aspects, from the consumer aspects, it makes sense because obviously we're making it for ourselves, then this still needs to remain black owned. But the problem that business owners face is a lot of time, so a lot of these businesses, in order for them to do what they do, we need to raise money. Right, so it's all well and good and saying still raise money from your people, but like who in the black community is going to give me £10 million to build this? Okay, right. Yeah. So a lot of times the people we're actually raising money from that nobody really knows in the background don't look like us, right? But then at that point, I mean, the moment you've done that, you need to return that money at some point, right? And then in business, one of the probably not the only way, there's few ways, but one of the most viable ways to return the money is to have an exit, which is quote unquote sell to a bigger company. Then obviously you get the money, then you pay your investors, you take a cash day, then you then reinvest in all that other stuff, right? So I think that's where the understanding needs to come in, that if our own communities are not funding our businesses, we get to a stage where without the funding, we probably have to grow a lot slower, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but for a business like Everest, for example, a lot goes into R&D, marketing and all of that stuff, right? That means that you need to raise money in the beginning to then make it back later on. And if you're not getting that money from your own circle or from your own community, and you have to get it from outside in order to still serve your community, know that you're not serving your community, at some point, like, you're gonna have to exit. So it's almost like your hands become tied. And so what's happening a lot in the black communities is like so a lot of these brands are then exiting and then using the money to start funding new businesses coming up. So there's a guy, the Shay Moisture guy, right? So he sold his business to Unilever actually. This was maybe like 10 years ago, but he sold for 800 million. Okay. Right. He took that money, and then all these new companies that are now going through the thing they're all funded by him. Okay. Right. So Mael went through Rich Dennis. Honeypot went through Rich Dennis. So there's about 10 big brands.
He said I'm playing checkers, not chess.
Right. Okay. So exactly. So it's almost like we need to start playing the game where we need to start building the capital within the community to be able to then fund our own businesses. But it needs to start from somewhere. Right. So there's that misunderstanding and mismatch. If you're in the business world, you get it, you understand. So there's that mismatch between consumers and our customers thinking like this needs to remain for us, but Donnie's asking for his money back. Right. So I think ultimately, like, what would be amazing was like if we had like at some point, for example, like if P&G came like, well, yeah, we're gonna give you 100 million, right? Pass over Everestel. We're gonna make sure that it's still black led, all that stuff. Nothing is going to change, and I think that's the key thing. I think especially when these brands change hands.
Because some of the hair products, I'll be honest with you, it switches owners, and now it's not really working for my hair like it was when you were producing it.
So I think like that's the key thing. We have to make sure that at least like when we are negotiating these things, those conversations ahead, and we can lock in those contracts as like formulation doesn't change. This work for these people.
Yeah.
The CEOs and people running it, because a lot of times like they don't even have takeover. They just want to have that as part of the portfolio, so it can still be independently run. But then you get all the resources to then like double down and then like grow it 10 times faster, take it to Africa, take it to and still serve our people. But then that also means that I can then fund the next 100 businesses that are coming up, so that they don't have to go through the same problem, right? So we have that chicken and egg problem solution thing where we have to find a solution to.
I was gonna say, you would have done well as a lawyer. All of this is say yes, I bloody will sell my business. Yes, I will.
I mean, well, so there's not right now. We don't have that problem. There's no clear cut, right? But also, like, if you also think about it, right? How many brands that when you were growing up that you used are still around today?
Talk about Palmer's,
right? And that's about it. So also as business owners, we also need to think about that. Not all brands live forever, right? So with that reality in mind, because it's all well and good to say, I'm going to pass this on to my kids and all of that stuff. But like, if you really sit down and think about even like 10 years ago, where were the brands that you use that you still use today? You probably don't, maybe like less than 10% of them.
Yeah, that's true. Because I hate, do you know what? One of my worst things in life is things getting discontinued. Oh my gosh. Hate it. But that's,
So,
that's true.
So if I know that's going to happen to me in 10 years time, wouldn't it be better for the community for me to cash in the chips when I know that's about to happen, and then we go again on something else built for the community? Because if we keep saying, well, I'm going to pass on to my son, he might not even be interested in this. Right?
Speak on that, boy.
So then passing all our stuff, and in 20 years time, the brand is dead, it's gone. No one really made anything out of it. So there's that part as well that we need to be wary of.
A couple questions. First of all, we have another host, another presenter who is not in today. Gina.
Yes.
Gina.
She's a bit of a queen, she does a little fitness thing,
Yeah, I know Gina.
Something like, sells at venues and stuff.
She's so vexed that she's not able to be in today because she wanted to pick your brain. She said you inspire her so much.
Oh, thank you.
And I guess we'll invite you on the next time when it is that she's here.
Yeah.
And
we're trying to get her to do some work with her, actually. So.
Oh, you've been trying to holler and she's been ignoring you?
Well, no. My team, I believe my team is.
Don't do that to Gina's team.
No.
Don't do that. This same team. So this team where we ain't getting products.
Can you imagine?
Because you said your team is trying to get Tracy Gina, but they haven't.
No. I'm saying that they've been talking, not that they are in touch.
Don't mind her.
They're in touch.
So secondly, where does love for community come from? Is it genuine? Is it authentic?
No, 100%. Like I said, like I created this for Esther, right?
Sorry, it's my human name.
Right. So this was never supposed to be a business for me. It was almost like, I met this girl that had this problem.
Yeah.
I knew how to create something. I did it for her, and then she was like, "Oh, actually, do you know what? My mom, my friend, my sister," and then looking down at the community. Actually, there's a big problem here that we can solve, right? Obviously, I'm coming from it from an entrepreneurial perspective in terms of like seeing the gap, but at the same time as well, no one is really solving this problem in the way that we understand, in the way that helps and support the community, right? So what better way for someone that actually understands than anybody else that really doesn't really necessarily care and necessarily seen us as a check to then come in to do it. So for us, like the love for the community, everything is 100% genuine or authentic. I think we're probably one of the very few brands that actually also give back to the community. I think like over Christmas, we gave her like $5,000 in like different gifts. Like someone won like 2K holiday just from the community. We just went on live and just like you just win something, just like a random person. So it's genuinely trying to solve problems within the community that we understand, that we know that we can come up with solutions for. So with that side as well, obviously, this question also lead into then why sell and all that stuff, right? Then it also brings the business aspect into it, whereby to do this also costs money. Unfortunately, right? So it's almost like you're battling chicken and egg where, money goes into this, other people's money, your own money, all of that stuff. You're building a career out of it as long as also serving your people and all of that stuff, right? So I don't believe that there's anything wrong with serving your people and also like having the business out of it at the same time. As long as it's genuine and all that stuff, then.
Love that. Good morning, Gina.
No, Brent,
your signal's fighting you, babes.
She's probably trying to show shade.
What?
Trying to show shade, and God protects me. She doesn't understand. What's it again? Hello? Connect to the Wi-Fi, babes. And then call via WhatsApp or something. I can't hear you.
Oh, all right, bye.
We're getting straight to that.
Sorry.
That's fine.
We're gonna give her a chance to call back, no?
Yeah.
Right, where was she?
I hope she does. Gina, call back properly, please.
Okay.
She sounded like she had Vim.
I think Brent lied.
I'm trying to understand what's going on.
I definitely didn't lie.
Yeah, because she sounded like she was. That was her like when Brent's chatting shit.
It sounded like she had
Let's see. Good morning, Gina.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, this is clear. HD 4K.
No, but I said I'm calling in as soon as I heard you try to slander my name. I
What did
had
I
to
say? What did I say? You dirty stinking liar.
wait. The
I'll say
way
it back in
I
you.
ran.
Wait, how did I slander your name?
No, but you were like, oh. So she's been ignoring you? I ran for my phone. I literally ran. Like I ran. And then it didn't connect the first time. And I was like, no, wait, before they move on.
I actually wanted to draw you out so it worked.
No, I know you did. But yeah, honestly, I'm so inspired, man. I'm literally I'm writing notes and everything.
Oh, thank
Oh, I love
you.
that.
Yeah. Thank you. Hopefully, yeah, we probably get to connect in person soon.
His team.
Yeah. Your team and his team need to
No,
sit
do you know
down,
what?
man.
Like, there's so much to do. I can't personally do everything, right? So,
That's what we're hearing.
Now there's 20 of us. So
That's sick though.
yeah,
That's amazing.
literally.
That's absolutely amazing.
All right, Gina, thank you.
Yeah, but no, we'll definitely. No worries.
Don't let him
Bye,
rush up your friend like that,
guys.
Gina.
No, leave him. It's fine because when I come back,
Tap on the throat.
Yes.
literally, I'm glad you know.
Bye.
All right, see you later, Gina.
All right, bye.
But yeah, so okay. Yeah, love that. So is there anything you guys have got coming up soon that you want to share with us or?
There's always a lot happening.
Mm-hmm.
We just launched a new. So with what we do, what we used to get a lot of questions around particularly from like moms and stuff like that. You know, for example, like my kid has got eczema. I don't know, chicken pox, all that stuff. Like, will your product work? So we've come up with a new baby line as well, not baby, like kids line.
Kids range. That's sick.
Particularly just for that as well, more for like again problematic skin concerns around kids. So that literally just launched like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
So that's new. But this is a long year. There's more things coming. You know.
Has anybody ever approached you to cook anything else?
Yeah, that's my question. You know,
no.
that's my next question. Spider-Man. Actually, maybe I don't want to tag into this.
Hint.
What?
Say that again.
Cook anything else?
No, we're not doing this. Basically, I was going to ask what my question was. Sorry, I didn't really tag onto that. I did not know what that was about. I was going to ask, like, would you go, outside of doing skincare, would you go into like anything else? Like hair, maybe? Or...
Heisenberg.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah, I just want to know if it is in uni. Did anybody approach you knowing full well that you had a lab, you had skill
Brent.
sets and this, that, and X?
Brent, sorry.
He's playing a game right now.
Fair enough.
So just answer my question first.
Okay.
Yeah, so hair stuff. Would you ever go into another?
Yeah, so we've actually tried that. So probably about 2 years ago.
Brent.
A lot of our customers were asking for like hair care stuff and all of that stuff. So we try like a hair growth oil.
Okay.
But I think we are very much well known for skin, and I think that's a little bit of a distraction.
Okay.
So I think like people know us and trust us and love us for skin, although again all the formulation we can understand and do other stuff. But I think we'll probably, for the foreseeable future, we'll probably try and stick to skincare stuff and just like be the expert and the brand, the go-to brand in that market that you go to when you need a solution for anything that's wrong with your skin. I think it works better for us just to just be laser focused for now anyway. But you never know. But
That's
for
it,
now,
man.
For now, I just want to remain focused.
No, honestly, well done. Congratulations.
Thank
This is
you.
absolutely. It was always rooting for you to be a millionaire, man.
Amen. We receive it.
Love to see it.
Add a beat to it.
Millionaire, love it.
You're on the way, innit?
Listen, on the way.
You can start cooking other things.
But I mean, like, it gets to a stage where for me, to be honest, like, I personally don't really spend money like that, right? Like, it's just like I'm not very.
You're not helping Ghanaian men PR.
No, but as not like personally on myself, like I'm
Okay,
not
okay,
like I'm not like
you're not lavish. You don't.
yeah.
the way you
So
live,
for me, like it's not even about the money. It's just like
Yeah.
I just love this game of business.
Sick.
Right. So like when I'm doing it, it's not cool. Yeah, the money's nice, but like it's a byproduct.
Yeah.
It shows that you've won.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of a feeling of just getting out there, just figuring something out and just doing it, and just like that feeling of just like fulfilling something. I think is me just what drives them more than anything else.
Is your wife involved in the business? Is Esther involved in business as well?
very much so. But from the perspective of, so when you are the wife of an entrepreneur, honestly, like all that stress gets unloaded onto you.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So for her, it's like, and also like we've got 2 young kids as well.
Yeah.
So for her, it's like literally like all my, and this is not a walk in the park, by the way. Like literally, like I was up at 4 this morning, for example.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of the times it was like she's like my sounding board, and I was like, this will not be here without her. So a lot of like whatever issues I'm going through, it's just like, oh babe, like what you working, like all this stuff. So, but I managed to retire her now. So yeah.
Don't you even like talk like that?
Right, of course we do. It's lit. He has been on a winning streak since the first date. The first date. Love that for her. Love that for you guys. That's beautiful, man. So we've got some questions we ask all our lovely guests. Yeah. So the first one, tell us something nobody knows about you.
So I actually had a starter.
This is the first person to answer this question straight off, you know.
Yeah, because when I was younger, I literally couldn't speak. Now, right now, when I talk, you'd be like, is it true? And literally never went to speech therapy. There was no speech therapy. And now you can probably see hints of it.
Yeah.
There's no speech therapy in Ghana. So literally I had to like keep tapping my leg to get words out.
Okay.
But since I was growing up, I've found ways around it now. I can just flow. So
in uni, was it full on manifesting, or was it already kind of you had it?
No, so this started changing. I started figuring out ways around maybe when I got to about maybe 10, 11. So as I've grown up, I've slowly like, I've grown out of it or figure out ways around it. Cool. But normally it's probably still there. Like anytime you hear like a pause in my words, that means I'm navigating around it.
That's sick though. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And what's your biggest life lesson?
I'll probably say do not discount element of timing, right? And I say this because I only figured this out and learned this after the launch of Ava Estelle.
Okay.
Whereby I've been in business for the last 10 years. So it wasn't like I was any smarter or anything like that on those things. Like whatever I knew then when I was launching it was what I've always known and been doing. But it was almost like at the time we launched and the skill sets I had at the time all just like matching together and bringing together for this particular idea for this to work. I think I could have never predicted it. And I keep saying, I think if we had launched like maybe like a year before or a year after when we had launched, we have never seen this level of success as well. But also like, particularly in business and life, timing is the only thing that you can't control. That is not in your power and your control and all that stuff. So there's an element of being able to just like still be perseverant and just know that when your time comes, you better be ready. Like it will come, but better be ready.
Yeah, that's word.
Because then like if you're not able to capitalize on that, right?
What you buy, hun?
Exactly, because like during COVID, I'm sure there was a lot of businesses that came up, but in our case, like I had all the skill sets, everything lined up to be able to just double down. Just like, all right, cool, I can see this. Like, let's go, let's put our foot on the gas. Whereby, if you didn't know how to run marketing, run production, do all that stuff, you'd have probably not been able to capitalize on the same idea. So, for me, it's just like the element of timing that you will never know when it comes. Just continue to stack your skills. Just continue to just get ready for when your time comes. Basically,
that's sick.
Yeah.
Before I asked you the last two, where would the name Ava Estelle? Where did that come from? So
Ava is my daughter.
Beautiful.
Well, our daughter. And Estelle is a play on Esther's name. Yeah,
I used to get called that in school a lot.
Serious?
Yeah.
So it was actually called something else, and we got sued.
What was it called? Can you tell us?
So it was called Essie Care. So Esther's nickname is Essie.
Oh yeah.
So obviously because she was the inspiration, I named it after her, and then with the word care. So it used to be Essie Care.
So sweet, man.
And
Beautiful.
and then, I mean, it worked. And then like 6 months in, we're making so much noise that
So get him out of here.
L'Oreal sent us L'Oreal sent us a cease and desist.
What's it gonna do with them?
Because they have a nail varnish brand called Essie.
Oh yes, there is a nail varnish. I have. Yeah.
And then for them, they're like, well, if we take it to court, the word care is just descriptive, so that will not count. So anyone can use the word care, so it becomes Essie versus Essie. Right, and then the argument is people will confuse their nail varnish brand with our products.
That's what you'd be lucky to, anyway.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, man, wait, this is skincare. Because I knew about it, but my rational and thought process was they don't nail varnish, we're doing skincare, we are doing it for people of color. They're just like, so there was no way people will confuse the two.
I would have thought that as well.
So that was my rational reason why I still went with that, but clearly not. So we had to then figure out a new name. and which means that Esther was not very happy because it meant that we came up with Ava first and then the Estelle, and then now Ava thinks the brand is hers.
Love that for her.
Right?
Young queen, love that for
and
her.
she's only 4 years old, and then...
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, she's stolen her mum's shine, unfortunately. But,
that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. And then our next question. So basically, we ask our guests to leave a question for the next guest.
Yeah.
And then you will then leave one for the next person.
Okay.
So the question that was left for you is, what have you achieved today that your 13-year-old self will be proud of? Oh, this is great for you.
For me, I think...
It's $20 million.
I mean, I think
Period.
personally, I'm personally living my dreams, basically, right? So like, I've always wanted to do this, and now it's like I'm in the middle of it. So I think, like, you know, from that perspective, I sort of like speak from a place of privilege. This is what, from the age of 16, this is what I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And now I'm literally living
living
it,
it.
right? So, and it's not even about money or whatever. It's like I wake up every day. It's like, as stressful as it is and as hard as it is, it's like, I don't see myself ever doing anything else, right? And this is what I always wanted to do. So, I guess now looking back, if my 13-year-old look forward, it's like, oh my God, like, you kind of done it. Yeah, so. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. Well done. Honestly, that's amazing. And then now you've got to leave a question for the next person.
My question for them will be, what are you doing now to make the world a better place in 5 years' time?
Doing now. Okay. To make the world lovely. Okay, nice that. Like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please let people know the website, their Instagram page, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course. So it's Ava Estelle, AVAESTELL. So at Ava Estelle will be Instagram. Website is www.avaestelle.com. If you're listening, we're running a Valentine's Day promotion, so make the most of it before it goes away.
Sick.
And my personal will be Yaw YAW_OK on IG.
Lovely. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've had a good time with us.
Of course, it's been amazing. And by this time next week, I hope my team is listening and you have products already.
Yeah.
They may not listen.
They've already emailed, laughed, saying, don't worry.
Oh, they emailed already, yeah?
See, that's what I mean. They're on job. They're on job. They've already emailed.
Credit to them.
Credit to you guys, man. I love you guys.
Yeah,
They're on job.
They're very on job, actually. They said we're not trying to get fired for that. All right, lovely. Thank you. All right, let's get into our last headlines for today.
Do it, and then like Chijoki just mentioned the Nigerian news. That's
Oh, yeah, shit, I forgot. My bad.
That's right.
This,
Sorry.
speaking of Nigeria, actually.
I genuinely forgot.
Yeah, I know.
Well, speaking of Nigeria, actually, this is absolutely amazing. Black excellence, really, really cool. So basically, the UK's first black female Michelin-starred chef is from West Africa, man. Love it. So West African cuisine, thank you very much. West African cuisine is gaining traction in London, according to the first black woman to be awarded a Michelin star in the UK. Adejoké Bakare is the founder and head chef at Shisuru, which received the honor on Monday. The restaurant, which specializes in modern West African cuisine, began as a pop-up in September 2020 after Bakare won a competition in Brixton Village. It then moved across various sites in London before finding a permanent home in Fitzrovia in September 2023. Bakare said, "We make our own rules, we answer to no one, we do our own thing. As a black female chef, I'm not totally sure I could have done it any other way." The chief inspector at Michelin in the UK said Bakare's style is unique and the restaurant is a wonderful reflection of her personality and her cooking. It is fun, full of life, generous and hugely enjoyable. Coco, another restaurant in Fitzrovia, specializing in West African cuisine, was also awarded a Michelin star at Monday's night event in Manchester. Shisuru, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, was one of the 18 new restaurants to be awarded a Michelin star Monday. Bakare said it did feel rather odd at last night's ceremony that 90% of the room was white, middle-aged men, but the passion I see among young women in the industry is such that I'm confident things will change. It's an enormous thrill and privilege to think I might have had some influence on that. Big up her, man. That's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go try that restaurant now.
You tried it?
I'm going to go.
Yeah, I want to try it, yeah.
Especially if it's in Fitzrovia, right?
Yeah, it's uptown, upscale.
It's your time to talk, man.
Slip. And then our last headline for today is about the NHS dentist shortages. So dentists who set up practice in areas of England with poor access to NHS care will be offered a £20,000 bonus. The government has also announced higher payments for dentists who take on new patients and teeth cleaning in schools as part of a plan to expand levels of dental care. The £20,000 Golden Hello payment will be available to up to 240 dentists, about 1% of the workforce, with the aim of getting more people to work for 3 years in the so-called dental deserts, where there is the poorest access to NHS care. And the government hopes increasing the standard payments all dentists get for carrying out NHS work will tempt more away from the more lucrative private market. Dentists have argued the money they are paid by the government to provide NHS dental care is not enough to cover their costs, especially in cases where people need complex procedures. That's the word. Go to dentist. Go to dentist twice a year, guys, for a checkup at least. That is time. No, it is time to pay some bills, and let's get into the reaction.
Welcome to the reaction, people. That's where I read the sports headlines. Today we have no headlines, but luckily enough, we have an AFCON correspondent who's been hard at work, boots on the ground, blades in the mud. Adejoké!
Where you at?
Where you at, Killy?
And I think Chelsea beat Aston Villa.
Last night, 3-1, innit?
Yeah, I think Greek wants us to make sure we mention that.
Is he a Chelsea fan?
Yeah, he is. But he's obviously been quiet this year, innit?
Yeah, they're down bad. They're in the mud. Oh, that was good. That was a good away win, though. Villa at home. I swear we got them next then, innit? Have we got them at home or away? Do you know? You wouldn't know because you don't care.
Yeah, because you said we. I'm not a United supporter.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're a football fan, you should know where the fixtures
No,
are. I could usually tell you where you're playing, whether it's home or away and stuff. Come on, Brent.
Where are we playing next, young man?
Huh?
And who are we playing?
You are playing
Hello?
next. I think. Oh my God, I know. You're up. Not Upton Park. Sorry. You're away at West Ham.
Fair dues. I'll give you that. Well done, Max.
Come on, man.
Nailed it. Good morning, Adejoké. Talk to us about Nigeria.
Morning. Yeah, no, I wanted to start properly because we didn't really go through the round before properly.
I apologize.
There was some interesting. No, that's absolutely fine. I understand you wanted to go home early.
Love it.
So, I mean, if we're talking quarterfinals now, obviously Nigeria went through 1-0 versus Angola. There was a lot of that game wasn't as good as the other games, so it was a tough game, but we went through, so that was standard. But with the next game that evening, the Mali Ivory Coast one, that one was interesting because Mali went 1-0 up, and I think this is the first time in a while or ever that I saw a guy actually put his hands up and say sorry. So the backstory was his parents are from Ivory Coast. So he was almost like apologetic for nearly knocking out Ivory Coast.
Is it?
But then they went and scored. Yeah, they went and scored on the 90th minute. And then last kick of the game of the extra time, they got their winner to go through.
Yeah, that's mad.
So that was a mental game. People got sent off, just through, I think one was the second yellow for celebration for that goal.
Oh, so he misses the semi-final and that?
So one of the players missed the semi-final.
Yeah, that's bonkers.
It was crazy. And then it was, I think, Congo won their game 3-1, and I'm pretty sure you saw PK's video just shutting down Tottenham.
Yeah, I see PK dancing on the car.
He was in the blogs.
Oh, absolutely. And then someone confirmed that it was her uncle that was doing the dance in the white tracksuit. Like one of my friends was confirming that. I was like, oh boy. So yeah, that was a massive result for them. Obviously, Congolese people were going mad. And then I think last game was the Cape Verde South Africa game. That game, again, it was a tight game, but I think the story was the penalties, because South Africa keeper was moving mad, saved 4 penalties in the shootout. So yeah, he was coming in with like great form. So then obviously we get to where we got to yesterday with the semi-final. So there was massive pressure on Nigeria, and I don't know who was doing whatever background juju nonsense, because Nigeria played bad, but they managed to get through on penalties, which South Africa were waiting for. But no, we obviously went through 40 on penalties. Great result. Obviously, people said we took over my piano, so that was good times. Good times. Now Brent did well. You know, he was playing the song, so
No,
I
he was
appreciate
not.
that.
Chijoke, he was not. Because when Brent was testing
He
out
was
the
saying he
Discord
did.
thing, I tuned in and
Okay,
playing piano.
sorry. So he was. So
Playing
that
on
was
my piano.
Brent. That was Brent
This
just
is
saying.
fake news,
Okay.
Chijoke. Don't listen to
Okay.
that thing. Go
But
Nigeria.
no.
So who you playing in the
now
finals?
we are Ivory Coast.
Is
So
this a win?
unfortunately, Congo. What for Nigeria?
Yes, is it a win? Call it.
Maybe
You know
The
what?
Nigeria Congo final would have been epic.
It would have been massive, and that's what I was hoping for, because I think, it would have been better for like anyway the UK side anyway. I think it would have been massive.
Yeah, it would have been bonkers.
I think the reason why I don't want to call it is because this Ivory Coast team have got some of their better players coming back. So Hella's now back up front, and the Brighton youngster as well. I'm trying to remember the Negro. I can't remember how to say his name properly.
2-1, 3-1, 4-2.
Why do you
to
want Nigeria so
Nigeria?
bad?
Yeah.
I know. He wants me to know, but I would
piano.
just say
1-0.
Okay.
we hope. I'm not putting a prediction on it.
Okay, 1-0. Thank you very much, King.
Be guided.
Okay.
Trust
You're the
me,
best.
be
You're the best.
guided.
Thank you very much.
Let's be guided.
Thank you for your report.
Thanks,
Chris.
Chijoke.
Thanks.
Appreciate
All
it,
right.
man.
Love.
Well, that is the end of our sports news and the end of our show. Let's get into the outro. But I thought I wanted to go back and highlight Astrid dancing because Esther didn't.
Nah.
She's 80% Nigerian.
She bought proof. She bought receipts.
What kind of receipts?
And
Them DNA websites. They be glitching sometimes.
How much percent was it, Brent?
18.
18.
And if it is that you flip it, obviously when you look at it in the mirror, it's 81, isn't it?
There you
That's a
go.
lot.
How does she speak with Nigerian accent?
You want to find out?
Go.
Yeah, go on then. Let's do it. I mean, we're already here now.
This could potentially be done, eh?
This is. I don't even need to even review it.
Let's see.
Why is she louder as well? Shouting at me in silence.
Niger, you haven't won a trophy for the past 10 years, but
Accurate.
What's she say?
I didn't even understand it because I don't understand Yoruba.
now that I'm here, I'm going to be your good luck charm. Come on, Nigeria!
No, start the video again. I need to get what she said at the top.
Niger, you haven't won a trophy for the past 10 years, but now that I'm here, I'm going to be your good luck charm. Come on, Nigeria! Ivory Coast or Congo, you go chop next. Let's go!
Okay. Is that it? Oh. Is that a Nigerian song?
I don't understand.
Dan, that's
the
a good luck.
attraction.
Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very
I
much.
don't understand the attraction at all.
I can't stand that girl, yeah. At the best of times.
What does she
I
do?
can't stand her. Nothing. Just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But
Anyway.
I can't stand her. I've seen her face. I can't stand it. And I think that made me can't stand her even more. I'm not gonna lie.
Boy. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to our lovely, lovely guests. Don't forget, check out Ava Estelle. They've got Valentine's treats going up on there. So check it out.
What kind of discount we got?
Valentine's promotion.
Heavy, 50%.
Healthy. Healthy.
Nice. So
But these things only happen once in a blue moon because Valentine's is a love story. So
that's actually true. This is you guys' season. This is your season.
yeah.
That is true. So make You never
Make the
know.
most of
You
it.
might ever still might find you a partner, honey. You don't know. But no, thank you for real. Though. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Big up your team as well. Yes, and thank you guys for tuning in as well. We always appreciate it. Everyone who asked a question, our lovely researchers, our lovely editor with the clips, sick. Big up everybody. Follow us on our social media platforms the day after TNB on Instagram, Twitter, and on the Clock app. If you want to send your dilemmas in, the number is 075 64841073. That's also the number to call when we're live on air. However, we might have a little twist because if the Discord thing goes according to plan, you can just join our Discord. Do that now anyway. Join the Discord. It's nice over there. And we might be using the functions tomorrow. God willing, if our enemies are not on job tomorrow. If you want to inquire about the show or feature on the show, our email address is thedayafter@thenewblack.com. See you guys tomorrow for Friday.
Peace.
God. Bye.
Thank you.